Poisonrana.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Poisonrana Live. You found us in whatever podcast app you're using right now, Spotify, Apple. Hit that download, hit that follow, subscribe. It goes a long way. But it's Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, which means...
It means we are live on youtube.com/@PoisonRanaPod. Hello, YouTube room. How are we doing?
Hello, all the friends, all the Poison pals out there. We're here to talk about some pro wrestling, and it's a glorious day. It's a Sunday. It's a Frog's Day. The Iceman cometh, and now it's summer. It is summer in the city this Sunday, so we're gonna finish this show as quickly as we can and get outside.
Yeah, he's thawed already, I guess. Yeah. Like, that didn't last long, did it? Like, what? Top streams ever, and then just melts. Yes, it's beautiful. I just got back from a walk. Like, yeah, we've had a few nice days here and there, but today was first, like, proper shorts and t-shirt kind of weather. I'm very happy. It automatically puts me in a great mood.
If you're telling me that today could be the day that we wear shorts for the first time, like this year for the season, then yes, it's going to be a good day. Like, it's Toronto weather is crazy. I know we have listeners from all over, and talking about weather on a wrestling podcast, probably not the most exciting, but Canada weather, Toronto weather is insane. One day it could be winter coat, parka, the toque, and the next day it's this. It's like summer. It's crazy.
You know, most of our audience are from Canada and the UK, and they have some very close similarities, Brits and Canadians, and that's saying sorry for things that you shouldn't be sorry about, and talking about the weather. So I'd say majority of our audience are like, right. Fuck yeah, weather talk. Let's go. Yeah. It's cold where I am, but it was hot yesterday. Like, it's always very interesting, and it never changes.
It is crazy though. Like, yeah, like this week I worked Thursday and I had to wear my winter jacket. I was like, this is crazy. It's May. What is going on? And then the next day it was like t-shirt weather. I was like, okay, what's happening?
We don't really have mid-seasons at all here. You might have the odd day here and there, but it's rare that you have your like thin spring jacket weather over here. You go from winter to summer, and you might have a couple of days to transition, but that's it.
Yeah. Well, we are we playing pool later?
I think so. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll have to get outside and I'll maybe walk there of just how.
Oh, absolutely.
How nice it is outside today. So yeah,
already
summer is here.
The other good thing about the summer in the city is the free samples. On my walk, I was already given a spiked iced tea and a canned Caesar. Nice. So yeah, my fridge actually is pretty full of booze right now, and I think all of it is either acquired from doing wrestling watch parties at the BDE where people leave some stuff, or just free sample people in the streets. It's great.
Yeah, the free sample thing is crazy. Like, remember when our good friend Eric visited us a few years ago for the first time, and he was shocked that people were just handing out alcohol all over the place. I'm like, this isn't usually, it's not every day they do it, but when the summer hits, the promo teams of all these different things. I guess I got to just send Suntory. We have had Suntory sponsor us for our Forbidden Pour event a few years ago, but now they have the not so strong zeros, the Japanese vodka seltzer things in Canada now. We had them in Whistler because we found them, but now I'm starting to see them pop up in some of our LCBOs here. So I'm like, all right, how do I get that to be our? We've been. I mean, it's me. I've been talking about them forever, and now I can get them here. And they're not the 9% ones, they're the 5%, which is way more like normal to drink. I find like that's a good percentage to have. I messed up yesterday. I went out and I got to see you, but I had a high IPA for the first time, and I couldn't even finish it. I was like, why did I order that? What was wrong with me?
What kind of IPA?
Octopus Wants to Fight by Great Lakes. It's tough.
Everything. I remember when I first started bartending when I was 16. IPAs were like, as they sound, pale ales. Like, they were on the lighter side, and often it was more like the older men that drank them because they didn't want like a 5% lager. So a lot of them were like 3.5% and things like that. And then I feel like as all these craft breweries have blown up, it's more alcohol, more hops, and they just like punch you in the face. And some people love that. I like, it's a nice day outside, sat on a patio, a nice fruity, like sessionable IPA I could enjoy. But yeah, those like gone are the days of drinking Bone Shaker and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I feel like I'm beered out. Like I don't know why I ordered it. I couldn't even finish it. Like half of it I left at the bar I was at. I was just like, I don't know why I ordered that. So summertime means, fruity stuff. It means nice drinks, fruity citrus seltzers, and that's where I'm going. No shame. No, I don't drink shame. You can order whatever you want, and as long as it tastes good and you're not hurting anybody. But those strong beers are like, ooh, I think I'm beard out from now on. But that was my own doing. I ordered it. But yeah, I want a strong zero. We won't get that later today, but the bar we're going to has some good seltzers and stuff, so maybe I'll be okay with that. But yeah, it's summertime now and the vibe has changed. As soon as it hits this, everyone's in a good mood again, hopefully. Is the case. Yeah, right. As soon as it gets summertime, everyone seems to be better and nicer and more outside. And you start to see the friends that disappeared for like 6 months.
Everyone looks more attractive. Everyone looks healthier. Yeah, it's a great time.
Well, hopefully it is warm wherever you are, or cold. Hey, whatever. Thank you for listening. Again, hit that download if you are listening on our podcast feed. We are Poisonrana. We cover all sorts of pro wrestling and so much more, but you can hear us Tuesdays. You may heard us on Up Next on postwrestling.com. Every Tuesday we go live after NXT. We will be live this upcoming Tuesday as we talk all about some NXT and Mason Rook and all the stuff going on in the world of WWE developmental. And hey, NXT, we were really high on last week. It was a really solid show. The last few weeks have been a breath of fresh air for the NXT brand. So I'm sure we will talk more about that and this week's show on Tuesday. But we are going to talk about some WWE and AEW. But next weekend, we are going to Queens, New York City to watch Double or Nothing AEW. And if you are in the New York area, we are planning to maybe have some cheap shots before the show. We're going to hit up a bar in the Queens area before Double or Nothing. So if you are in the New York area, you're planning on going to the show, you want to say hi, come say hi and come to the bar beforehand and have a few drinks and everything. But follow the socials if you haven't already, because we want to see some people and everything. And yeah.
We've had a few people express interest. The bar is called Cheap Shots. Does what it says on the tin, like Ron Sill. And yeah, we hung out here before Grand Slam a few years ago. It's about a 10-minute Uber from the stadium. If it's a nice day and you want to leave early enough, it's walkable as well, just a little longer. Obviously, not many bars in the actual area of Flushing and where Arthur Ashe, Louis Armstrong Arena Stadium is. So deciding this, very affordable, cheap wings and food and stuff like that. Just a great place to hang out before the event. So we will be there at Cheap Shots. Throw it in your Google Maps and come hang. We'll probably be there sort of mid-afternoon-ish and get a few bevies in before the big show.
Absolutely. So again, follow the space, because if you're going to the show or you want to say hi or whatever, I got some stickers. I got some stickers and some pins. So come say hi. We are always friendly and love to meet any listeners from wherever you happen to be. But this Friday is when we leave Friday morning to go to New York from Toronto. But we thought that we're going to do some content this week. Whenever we do some of these wrestling weekends, we like to do a Snap Rana on our Patreon. It's where we just record live in the field, wherever we may be. If it's at a venue, if it's outside after a wrestling event, if it's on a gondola in Whistler Mountains, wherever we end up, we will be doing some Snap Ranas across New York City this weekend. But this Thursday live here on this YouTube at 1 p.m. Eastern, we will do a Double or Nothing preview. So this Thursday, catch us with a new extra edition of Poisonrana, where we'll just go through the card and everything after this upcoming Dynamite, which is the go home show. So at least we'll know some more things by that time. But tune in this Thursday, 1 p.m.
There'll still be like 5 matches added after our preview somehow, but we'll run down everything. We have already a bit of a fuller looking card, which we'll be getting into later, but a more in-depth preview this Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern.
Because then Sunday after Double or Nothing, we will attempt to, whether we go live or we will record something in some capacity like we have in the past, whether we're at the place we're staying or outside or who knows where. But again, follow the space. We will be covering Double or Nothing from Queens this weekend. So Poisonrana.ca. You want to hear the Snap Ranas and hear all the shenanigans we get up to, check out our patreon.com/Poisonrana, because you'll get all the Snap Ranas coming up this weekend, all the Snap Ranas in the past, and all the podcasts that we got on the Patreon, including tons of movie reviews, retro wrestling reviews, and a show we call Best Match Ever. We had a twofer. We had a 2-week run of Best Match Ever. 1 week, Davie and I discussed the best and worst of Hulk Hogan, whatever Ultimate Warrior called him. We talked about Hulk Hogan. We talked about the new Netflix documentary. And then we looked at a playlist of the best of the Hulkster, for good and for bad. We poured one out for Hulk Hogan. But then this week, we did a huge best match ever with Eric Marcotte from Post Wrestling. Joined us to talk about the very best of the ace. One in a generation. Hiroshi Tanahashi. Oh boy, this was a long show, but we did it. We crushed it.
Absolutely. And one of these best match evers had an incredible match with Antonio Inoki, and you wouldn't guess which one it was.
Apparently, we were speaking some truth when we were talking about Hulk Hogan and Inoki, because Eric said that he had to go watch it after hearing us talk about it, and then he was like, it was incredible. So there you go. See, we are wrestling influencers, if you will. But yes,
maybe that Hulk guy had something going on. Maybe
could have been a star. That Hulkster. We had a lot of fun on the Patreon. We do so much other shows and podcasts to keep you entertained. So check us out. It's $5 a month. We are 2 independent guys, podcast out of our house, and we like to make wrestling content. And if you want to hear more, check us out. It's $5. You get access to all the shows that we've done. There's so many movies that we've covered, franchises, classic wrestling pay-per-views, and so much more. And then we create playlists like this, and we link you with all the matches for all the matches we talk about in the Hulk review and the Tanahashi review as well. So tons of shows on our Patreon, and it's $5. What do you?
We also have a tier called the Family Tier, or the World Champions Tier, where our top subscribers get to pick stuff for us to review. And we've been all over the shop with this, with old pay-per-views, even concerts. We've looked at different movies and things. And next week, we're joined by David Higuera, who has picked a film I never heard about, which I'm surprised of, and I know you've not heard of either. It's called Kayfabe, and it's a mockumentary about wrestling. So really looking forward to this. It's meant to be a comedy. Like, it's had pretty good reviews, actually. I'm surprised I've not heard about it, or I've not heard it talked about more within wrestling circles. But we will be talking all about that this week. And whenever I look at this image here, I keep thinking that's Lance Storm. I'm like, am I about to watch a movie starring Lance Storm as the lead? But no.
Well, if I can be serious for a second, this movie is for free on YouTube, right?
I believe so.
Anyone can go watch it. So yeah, I've never heard of it, never watched it. But Dave, who's a patron, thank you for picking it. We will be talking with him a little bit this Wednesday as we review Kayfabe. So something I've never heard about. But we recently reviewed Dark Side of the Ring, which is not a mockumentary, but a documentary. And we recently re-released it for free on this very free feed as well. So check that out. RIP to Barry, who created the whole thing and everything. So tons of stuff. Poisonrana.ca for links of everything else. We got you. We got those long drives and cold showers. We got you entertained with the wrestling podcasts. Check us out.
Absolutely.
And appreciate.
If you don't want to take the leap, if you don't want to spend those $5 to be a patron, you can support us in other ways. If you're watching now on YouTube or at a later time, please hit that like and subscribe button. Please leave a little comment. Just doesn't have to be long, but any sort of comment. It really helps the algorithm. It helps other people find us. It helps grow our network, grow people listening to us. And in turn, that helps us with, you know, ad revenue and more people finding us, Patreon and that kind of thing. And all those things can really help support, and it doesn't cost you anything. Just you know, a couple of moments of your time. So if you haven't done it already, if you have other accounts, burner accounts, mum's account, nan's account, friend's account, whatever, do the same thing. Help spread the love. Leave a little comment, 5-star review, that kind of thing. It can really, really help us.
Absolutely. If you do use Instagram or Facebook or whatever, you can find our Insta, and we've been putting some more work into it. And got to thank Surin, who's been helping us with Reels, and he's been doing a fantastic job. These videos are cool, so go check them out. And again, give them a little heart and a little comment. It goes a long way. And always been appreciating the people who've been following, whether you're a newer listener or been listening for years now. Appreciate all the hours that we've been in your ears. So thank you.
Absolutely.
From the bottom of our hearts. Thank you, as always. But we ain't going anywhere. We just, we thought, hey, why not put a little bit more elbow grease into it and see what we can do. So, yeah, appreciate the support, and any little bit helps. But we're going to New York next week. So you want to buy us a beer, buy yourself some podcasts. Go to the Patreon. It's $5. Come on.
And get it now. We are going to be raising our prices to $6 in July. I'm so sorry. Capitalism has got us. But yeah, as we mentioned last week, like when we started this show, things were a lot more affordable to run this stuff, and we've had to get different subscriptions. We've had to upgrade our equipment and things, and everything's gone up, and we haven't raised our prices since starting this thing back in 2019, 2020. So yeah, we're going to raise it by $1. Just the friends tier, the world champion tier is going to remain absolutely the same. We understand if people need to drop out or stuff, but it's something, honestly, we should have probably done a long time ago. But you still have time, you know? You can be cheeky. You could drop that $5. You can download all our back catalog and then unsubscribe if you wish. But I bet you once you start listening to us, you won't want to.
Absolutely. Appreciate, again, anyone, new or old. The love is real. Appreciate. And again, if you are in New York, we always love to meet listeners. We've traveled. We've been lucky enough to, travel and go to wrestling events and stuff like that. And some of the highlights is meeting people who like know so much about us, or, who have bought like our hats in the past or our t-shirts or whatever. It's a great community that we're really proud of. So always got to shout that out.
Absolutely.
The people power out there. Maybe not that, but yes, you know what I'm saying. A lot to talk about this week. So yeah, I said we're gonna talk about some AEWs, but obviously with Double or Nothing and Wednesday, we thought why not do a bigger Double or Nothing preview this upcoming Thursday at 1 p.m. here on our YouTube page as well. So check that out. But
you came to visit me last night.
Your new job, yeah.
My new bar.
We no longer go to the other establishment that shall not be named. They don't get our business anymore. But you started at a new establishment, The Score on
Queen,
downtown Toronto, and it's a cool little spot. Great patio. Oh, I bet it's bumping now.
Yeah.
Big, huge patio as well. But myself and Reckless Rob, friend of the show, we did a little bar hop, me and Rob, and then we ended up at your bar, and we made it just as all the Habs fans left crying, unfortunately. But don't worry, I feel like the Habs got this. I feel like, although I think I'm now Team Sabres since going to Buffalo.
We're closer to Buffalo.
We're closer to Buffalo. Fuck Montreal, to be honest. I'll say that until we get that show announcement next week. But so then me and Rob came to the bar. We visited you because we wanted to watch the big fight. We wanted to watch Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano. And you were nice enough to put it on the screens in the bar. I saw some other people looking. They were interested as well. But then we got to watch this fight. Got some green tea shots at your bar, which were delicious. Some seltzers on tap as well. It was very nice. So the new bar already really cool. How is it for you?
I'm enjoying it so far. It's it's been good. Good people. It's a breath of fresh air. Yeah, so I'm having a good time.
Nice. Well, I'll definitely be visiting you again, I'm sure. But Queen Street, like bumping on a Saturday night, as it always is, and it's in the heart of it. You're near all the fun stuff in downtown Toronto, and then we watched the fight, and it was
blink and you miss it.
A finger poke of doom, almost an armbar of doom, I guess. 14 seconds, 17 seconds, something like that. What the hell was that?
I'm not going to pretend to be an MMA expert on this show.
I don't think you have to be. We watch wrestling, and this was faker than that, I think.
Do you think? Because don't like, I don't know. Don't you think they'd have given us more of a fight, like Logan Paul, Floyd Mayweather, if it was a bit faker, if you will?
Like. The thing with this, so I didn't realize that this is MVP Promotions, meaning not Montel Vontavious Porter, but Jake Paul, right? This is his company. And when I've watched those, was it the Logan Paul Mayweather one, where like to me it looked like Mayweather was like, no, you're not falling over yet. We have rounds to do because I got money on this kind of thing. And every time Jake Paul, maybe the one where he finally got knocked out, where I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it's not as rigged as I thought these things were, but I don't know. I want this to succeed. I want these fighters and people to be into it, and like it's cool that we have another dog in the fight, essentially, and not just UFC doing MMA shows that people seem to actually care about. But I don't know. Watching this, I just got this ick of like, okay, Gina puts her in a guillotine for like 5 seconds. Ronda transitions it to the armbar, and not even before it's like fully in, Gina with the giant grin on her face taps out. And I'm like, okay, did you just take the big pay stub here to get in great shape and then just knew that you were going to do that anyways?
Okay, but maybe that's the wrestling fan in you, because we're used to seeing submissions applied for 30 seconds, a minute before someone taps out.
I need blood dripping down. I need the zoom-ins. I need the rope break attempts.
Whereas in reality, a cross-arm breaker is what it says. Like, your arm will snap. So it's often a quick tap out. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm not pretending to be an expert. All I caught was that main event because the Habs game was on. What I find more interesting is sort of how this is going to do financially, because a big selling point of this show was Ronda kind of a fuck you to TKO, and pay your fighters what they're worth. And I believe the minimum fighters were paid for this was 40,000, and I think what was it, like 50% of the income will be used to go towards the talent, which is equivalent to like other major sports, which wrestling and UFC and stuff really does not do. So it'll be interesting to see, was this event profitable? How did it do on Netflix? Is it possible that you could, because you always hear the capitalists say, oh no, you want to pay, if I pay you more than minimum wage, like this will go up and this will go up, and it's like, hang on, but you're making more and more at the top here. So I'd be interested to see, is MVP Promotions sustainable to have a MMA promotion that can run like this, that can be fair for the fighters. Now, I don't know, Ronda, is she hanging herself? Is this a bit of a gimmick, the Fighters' Right thing, as a fuck you to TKO? Even if it is or isn't, like, if it's still benefiting fighters in the end of the day, does it matter? Like, it kind of, there's a South Park episode that makes fun of Lance Armstrong's Live Strong, because, obviously he cheated. Yeah. And the whole point of the episode is kind of like, okay, he cheated, but still did kind of good things for charity despite him cheating. Does that make sense? So whether it's like honorable intentions from Ronda or like just a bit of a gimmick, it's still cool that these fighters are actually being paid properly going into this thing. And like, can Netflix, will they want to do more? Are there other kind of nostalgia acts they can use to do more of these things? If this is a success, I'm sure they're going to want to.
Absolutely. Okay, I just opened my Netflix account right now. Number one show is The Fight. Yeah. So like, that tells you there is sort of interest in that. Like enough for I noticed like bars last night in the city weren't necessarily advertising it, but if I went to our like local
legal reasons,
yeah, legal reasons probably, but like the bars were airing it. Like some screens, obviously we had the hockey in this country. Hockey is hockey above everything else. Usually how it works, even when it's not the Leafs. But bars were airing this, and people there clearly was some interest in it. And okay, Ronda Rousey, even without the WWE rub before she even went to WWE, was already a household name. She is the innovator or the first woman superstar of MMA. You know,
it can't be understated. Just like women's sports in general. Like, I mean, I put Serena Williams probably at the top there, but Ronda Rousey isn't far behind with like pushing women's sport. And you know, now we're seeing WNBA on like national TV quite regularly, and other like other stars breaking out hockey, in other sports, hockey and all that.
Like Ronda is a household name of just like, you know, pioneer of women's athletes and fighting, and no matter how you think of her, like, okay, I didn't care for her in WWE, would be interested to see if she does still eventually show up in AEW. I'm still holding out for that Mercedes match if it's not going to be Tony at All In, but it was a draw. It had some people interested, I guess, enough. Like you had to be a hardcore fan to, I guess, even know who Gina Carano is, or a Mandalorian fan, I guess, but at one point. But like, this is the match that's back in the day, people always were like, oh, these two should have fought in different times and whatnot. But it's smart to do this kind of thing. It's just more of this almost like using washed up, like old timey people, like the Mike Tyson fight. Like the dude's old, like, you know his name, so let's just make money on the name kind of thing. And I don't know. I think I'm okay with this. If people want it, then fucking do it. Like,
I mean, I think it's for people like us who don't follow it, you know, like the boxing, like, like I know a lot of people are very negative, like boxing purists are very negative to where boxing has gone these days.
Of course.
For me, I'm not a boxing purist, so names I recognize, I'm going to be way more interested in, even if they are washed up. I'm going to be way more interested in seeing Mike Tyson in his 50s than
Mike Tyson,
people in their prime today.
Yeah, Mike Tyson easily, like anyone knows who that is. So it's like, anyone would watch his fight, right? But I
think I wonder sorry.
Well, no, go for it, because I do think like she said that she's done, and I would imagine that's an easy thing to just book her like in another big fight, but she kind of made it clear like, hey, I'm not doing anymore. And I would go for other people like Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is definitely going to be wrestling for these people. Like, come on.
I mean, I would think anyone who is the problem is those UFC contracts are pretty hard to get out of, right? Like you sign for an amount of fights, and it's not for time, as far as I'm aware. So if you sign for 10 fights and you've got 4 fights left, well, you can't do anything else until you've done those 4 fights. I might be talking absolute bullshit here, but that's what I believe. So I know they're hard to get out of, but I'm sure people that have been able to get out of there are going to look at that. It's like, oh, I can make minimum 40K doing this thing. Can be on Netflix. I could maybe have higher viewership, get a good payday.
Absolutely. Like, look, I'm not a UFC or MMA expert. When it was at its height back in the day, you know, another Iceman I used to watch, Chuck Liddell. I used to watch the shit. I used to be into it, but I've fallen out of it. I feel like there's not necessarily big stars right now, but again, I just don't watch, and it's so oversaturated, and like, you know, I don't like the culture as well that it's kind of turned into, and Dana White's a bit of a twit. So I just like, I'm not necessarily into it, but this kind of stuff brings the casuals kind of back into it, if that makes sense.
I think what I've enjoyed with these Netflix shows, I mean, pretty much every time we've seen one of these things, it was the same with the Triller stuff in the past. I know so many people that watch it and then go, what a fucking joke that was. Yeah. But then they watch it the next time as well. Yeah, whereas I don't sit down to watch UFC shows. I'm like, I have to be reminded at work, oh, are you showing the UFC tonight? Whereas these kind of Netflix ones, I'm more like, oh, there's this on tonight. It's kind of one of those things that brings people together a little bit. Like I mean, we just had the Eurovision Song Contest. That's a very similar kind of thing. Like, people sit down and watch it because they know millions of people around the world are watching the same thing at the same time and kind of want to have their 2 cents about it and all that. I wonder as well with you know, I could see this being the end for Ronda, and we know, like, she's spoken quite publicly about her sort of, you know, mental state after her losses and how she doesn't take defeats very well. And I wonder if there was that kind of thing where it's, let's end on a high note, you know, like, should be an easy win against Gina Carano. Let's wipe the slate. Let's do a, you know, quick tap out in 14 seconds or whatever it is. Be the Ronda Rousey of old and just, okay, I can end on that note and I can be happy. It's like, you know, in The Last Ride, that Undertaker documentary where he kept on having stinker after stinker and was like, well, I don't want to end on a stinker. So I was meant to retire on this match, but it was kind of shit. So I'm going to try and have another match to try and not have it be shit. And then, you know what, the Boneyard match ended up kind of perfect. So I wonder if there's that element to her as well, where she's
they
like...
said that, yeah, in the post-fight. They did kind of poke at that. Like, hey, this is the perfect ending, and I'm going to end on a high note, and I'm never fighting again. I'm
against
tired.
her dream opponent she never got to face, you know? Right. Even if
like,
it is 10 years too late.
Like, literally right before the fight, we were all of us at your bar talking, and I was like, really, this is going to go really quick. And then I didn't think it was going to go that quick. They interviewed CM Punk, who was in the crowd, and he said, hey, to his wife, AJ Lee, April, honey, I'll be home in 20 minutes. This is going to be over really quick. And with he had a really salty hat on for some reason. He must have just come from the gym or something. But I didn't think it was going to be that quick. So the fix is in.
We were saying, like, do you think they're going to go a round or two just to, like, you know, give the crowd something and then just be like, all right, let's go. Over. It's like, oh, no, what? Before I'd even finished that thought, it was done.
So, like, yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying I'm poking the bear when I'm like, it's rigged, it's fixed. But, like, hey, I listened to an argument because I watched that. It was like, really? Like, even the replay, which... in slow-mo, which is like probably 0.5 speed or half the speed of normal time that they played, was still only like 30-something seconds. And you just see Gina smiling, and then she taps and she's smiling. I'm like, come on, what is this?
And people said it wasn't believable when Cena smiled, tapping out to Gunther, right?
That's right. I will say, Gina, I hate her. She looked good, though. Have you seen this picture? Yeah, I just saw this before going, and I was going to say, okay, so CM Punk was there, I guess in support of Ronda, but I wonder if they had to separate him in sections from the Death Riders, who were also in attendance for Ronda. You don't think Mox approached him and was like, have you seen Rocky 2 yet? Yeah, Mox goes up to Phil as Netflix are rolling, and he goes, we gonna do it. We gonna do it. We gonna do it. Mox is hilarious because he's such a, like, he plays his character so well and is such a scary motherfucker at times. And then just look at this goof in this picture. I love him. I love him. He's so great. Much. Yeah, I love him so. Fuck Dean Ambrose, but John Moxley, I'll go to war for him. But man, I kind of love shit like that. I love that the Death Riders are genuinely like hanging out. I mean, obviously Marina is close with Ronda, but I mean, I imagine like Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia are like, how the fuck am I at this thing right now? Yuta especially, but Yuta, both of them at this point. Yeah. Who knows? We could have got like Gabe looks like a shit cunt who would be there, but like really Gabe looks like he fits in with the MMA crowd. Yeah. He's probably at that Tommy Robinson rally yesterday, but I love that we have like this crossover, and I know after the fight, Ronda did say like she's done fighting and she's gonna go make a bunch more babies. So I that tells me she's not gonna be doing anything else for AEW. So I don't know. She's like, Tony Storm, how long are you gonna be away for? About a year. Yeah, I could squeeze out one in that time. All right. She just really never say babies. Never. I mean, it was a joke, unfortunately, the fight, but cool that we had it hyped and everything. I did see the fight earlier where Diaz was just leaking. Like that was pretty crazy as well. So like you do get your fans who have like who know are knowledgeable and who want to see these fighters even if they're like maybe past it. But then you do have people like us who are the casuals who are like, all right, I'll watch this Netflix fight. So I will, as I'm complaining that I think it's fixed. I will check out the next one, and I do think Brock Lesnar's a key candidate for some shit like this. Like he is the perfect. He's the perfect person for this bullshit of like, you know who he is, whether you're a wrestling fan, fighting fan, you just know who he is. And then I don't know who his opponent would be.
I mean, all it would depend on is his loyalty, right? His loyalty to TKO. Because he's when like I think his contract is expiring. It is expiring this summer. Whether he has that one more match or not, but. Yeah, but we know with Brock, it's money. Who is the guy that defeated Brock in his first match? His first fight?
Frank Mir? But then
like
Frank Mir, I thought, for the title.
I don't know. It like that's something like I'm not that knowledgeable about Brock's UFC run, but do you do that? Like rehash one of the old fights to because it's the nostalgia that's working with these things, right?
Yeah. Okay. So if I'm remembering, he had a fight that was overturned because of the steroids, but so I don't think you're getting
that was the last match.
That was the last
UFC 200.
That was Mark Hunt. Yeah. Yes. Mark Hunt was really pissed. He still is. Before that, he lost to Alistair Overeem. Ooh, what's Cain Velasquez doing? Is he still with the UFC? Get him in there.
He's free now, is he, or sentence reduced?
Okay,
or
look
something?
Look at me knowing MMA ball. So the first UFC fight Brock was in, he lost to Frank Mir, but then like a year or so later, he got his win back over Mir by defending when he had beat Couture for the title. So yeah, this is when I was watching UFC. Brock coming in was a big deal for even non-wrestling fans.
Yeah, do Brock versus Kane in Mexico.
Hell in a Cell.
Netflix. There we go. Yeah.
He's free now, right? I think Cain Velasquez.
I think so.
Yeah, recently. So there you go. Yeah, I know. Yesterday we were throwing things around. Our friend Rob was like, "What's Crow Cop doing?" He's the other big fucking dude, and I'm like, I don't know if he's necessarily like a household name, but fighting people would know him, and I don't know if he's necessarily someone that could do that. I always like the biggest UFC fight that never happened is GSP and Anderson Silva, but I would assume they are like contractually obligated to not do stuff like this.
Maybe
they're probably like in a UFC deal or something. But that is obvious. That is like the biggest one that we never got, that the people were actually like waiting for. So I mean, that would be something incredible, even if you got one of them to fight. But
well, we didn't notice this last night when you were at the bar, but convenient timing that as this show is ending, this fight was announced.
Holy shit.
McGregor versus Holloway 2, July 11th.
Is this on the front of the White House lawn?
I don't think this is the White House one, no. But
is this in jail? What is it? Is this?
I was going to say my money's on the guy with shitty tattoos and questionable political beliefs.
I don't even know Holloway's political views, but something tells me I do. Yeah. Wow. He's a draw though. Like controversy, I guess, creates cash. Whatever you like. People will.
It'll probably be huge. Yeah.
This will be the biggest UFC.
We know the UFC crowd don't give a fuck.
They definitely don't give a fuck. And Trump will be front row.
Yeah.
Sucking on a chili dog watching this shit. So yeah, I can't say that necessarily does anything for me, but there's interest of like, does this guy, I mean, the last time he fought, didn't he get fucked up? And the time before that, he got fucked up. And
he like broke his ankle or something.
Like he's not had it. Yeah, he's not had it.
It's been a long time since his last fight.
But he is a polarizing figure. So like, yeah, I guess.
Man, okay, I've bullshitted my way through this MMA talk about as far as I can go now.
Well, that's okay. Well, but to put a bow on it, it. Okay, we can't get WWE wrestlers because it's Netflix. Can we not? Because they showed CM Punk. They have the the partnership with
I mean,
WWE.
that's what's interesting. It's like this, like MVP Promotions is a rival to TKO UFC, but is playing on Netflix, which also has TKO properties.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. And showing on the broadcast CM Punk. So
like put some wrestlers in there. Jey Uso, get in the ring, get in the octagon. Let's go. I want some celebrities. I want like some, what's John Stamos doing? Let's get crazy.
Do a brawl for all. Yeah.
Let's get fucking crazy with this. Let's go. Yeah. I want to see some real people fight. Some celebs fight. Matthew McConaughey. Put him in there.
Why McConaughey?
I think he could. You
just think he'd be good.
he'd take your shirt off, and there'd actually be a reason for it this time.
Elliot Page, like just throw everyone in there.
Get Drake and Kendrick in there.
Yeah,
then you just make fucking billions, trillions. Yeah, fighting. Like the more you make it is cool that they're whether it's genuine or not, the like pay your fighters thing. So I say the same thing about wrestlers. They're the fighters. Is crazy because they got to go through like training camps and shit like that. All for what? A 17-second fight? Fuck off. Same with wrestlers. They put their bodies on the line. Like pay them what they're worth. And you've seen Kevin Nash is saying unionize. So fuck it, do that too. But that's probably not gonna happen.
Well, we should mention. We forgot to mention this earlier because it's new to us. But super chats are open. That is another way you can support us. And we just got a lovely $5 super chat from Sunil. Thank you very much, Sunil. Feel free to leave super chats with comments or questions anytime throughout the show. Even hot takes, we'll take them and debate and discuss that. But
it must be the riveting MMA discussion.
Yeah,
Sunil was like, "This is great."
You're not going to find better analysis. Like, fuck post wrestling, Eric Marcotte, John Pollock. They don't know what they're talking about. You come to us, the real experts.
Yeah. Let us know who would you book in the fantasy Netflix MMA show? Good stuff. There you go. Now we can talk about real sports, real graps, pro wrestling.
Let's start off with a bit of WWE. Let's head over to Smackdown, where Cody Rhodes versus Gunther for the undisputed WWE Championship has been announced for Clash in Italy. Obviously, this has been teased before Backlash with Gunther showing up on SmackDown, and he's now officially a member of the SmackDown roster, but was kind of fucking around a little too much with this contract yesterday, which caused Royce Keys to come out and be like, you know what? If you're not going to sign it, I'll sign it. Led to the main event match, which Gunther did win, and then Cody put him in the Crossroads at the end of the show. Did you catch much of SmackDown this week?
I watched some of it today, including that segment and the match and everything. It's cool to see Royce Keys be put in something that's a pretty big like position, considering like his appearance at the Rumble, and then he was MIA, and then he's come in during WrestleMania time, which is like a kind of a tough spot to try to move new stories and stuff when you already have WrestleMania to kind of worry about and all that stuff. But now they seem to be like going forward with him. I know that there's the connection with the Nightmare Factory and Royce and Cody, like friendship, I'm sure in real life and stuff. So I'm wondering if down the line there's a more like pairing between the two. Like I'm fantasy booking ahead here, but like imagine Cody does turn heel in like 6 months to a year. Royce Keys would be the perfect diesel to him, like the perfect big man bodyguard, right? So,
absolutely. Or the other way round, Royce turning on Cody or whatever. I haven't thought much of main roster WWE recently. Raw was really completely uneventful for me. Aside from like Io Sol Ruka was fine. It's Io Sky. Like, it's always going to be good. And congratulations, Io Sky and Evil Naraku on their wedding. But yeah, I actually quite enjoyed this main event. I think Royce, it has been a weird start with like the slow rollout of Royce Keys in WWE with the Saudi debut and then the months of not seeing him, the podcast with Stephanie McMahon, and then few videos of showing who Royce Keys the person is, bring up his background and things. I will say it's been semi successful in we know more about this guy than we ever really did in AEW. He was just the big guy that snulled and was in a member of about 10 different factions over his time there. But, you know, I've enjoyed the little moments we've had with him and Jacob Fatu and bringing up their past together. And, yeah, acknowledging the relationship with Cody and standing up, like trying to push himself to the top of the card. And I actually thought he had a pretty enjoyable match against Gunther. I think part of it is because that chest of his is so solid and so big, it made Gunther's chop sound awesome. And then he's giving it back as good as he can as well. So I thought it was a pretty fun main event, actually, despite the show not being completely exciting for me. But what do you think of Cody and Gunther moving forward?
That's a great matchup to go to. Like, I think this is a program we've been definitely waiting for. Now, we saw it before, right? Like,
we had the Crown Jewel match, which is just champ v champ, which Cody won.
You know, I don't know if this is necessarily like a hot take or anything, but I haven't loved Gunther in this since losing to Jay at WrestleMania. I didn't love the AJ retirement match, and I didn't necessarily love the John Cena retirement match. So this year, a lot of the Gunther stuff has just been kind of WWE cruise control Gunther. Like, I miss old Fat Walt. I miss you come to WWE. This is the same. I'm going to tie this into Royce Keys as well. As soon as you get to WWE, you get WWE-ified, right? You get your 5 moves of doom, and everything's more slow, and the wrestling isn't necessarily the focus, right? And I find that with this year of Gunther. I didn't find that when he was in NXT or UK or even on the main roster initially, but I found that this year that he's really watered down, and I'm bored of him, to be honest. So I'm not necessarily too excited about the Cody match, but it is an opportunity to get out of that, to go back to actual solid wrestling. And I'll bring that up because also Royce Keys, I thought in the last year of his AEW run, he was evolving. He was actually stepping up, and then he left and came to WWE, and then he was kind of out of action. So I felt like that kind of stalled him. And then here he is wrestling, and again, it's super cool to see him wrestling here at WWE. But he's already toned his style down, and that's just what happens when you come to WWE, I guess. But I don't know. Gunther, Cody should be that show stealer on that show, but I can't say, it's a bit of a what have you done for me lately thing, and they love the storyline of retiring people, but I can't say I've loved his work in the last year. The Pat McAfee, Jey Uso, all that stuff. But
I'm a lot higher on the AJ match than you, and I actually thought the Pat stuff was better than a lot of the other stuff last year. I kind of thought that worked, even though it was odd to do that. I know what you mean. I think a lot of it in WWE as well is the right dance partner as well. I think so many, Gunther's great, but he's against all these WWE style people, and he's not you're not having the people hitting him as hard, an Ilya who would just it's you look at the two guys, Ilya and Gunther, and you go, there's no way that little blonde guy can beat him. And then you see how he fights and go, oh fuck yeah, okay, he's dangerous. And I don't think you have that with many people on the roster. And I didn't like the Seth match, and I do think it's kind of Gunther stepping down to other people's level a lot of the time, and there's only so many times you can get excited about a chop. I wouldn't go as harshly in on him as you. I still think he's one of the best there, and I think despite the weight loss, he still carries himself with that aura he had before.
I just think by the end of this year, nothing he's done this year even comes into my head of that was a match of the year contender, or that was a program. I just feel it's not connecting. And I think it was, again, I think a year ago, I was way more into it. And I think he's been presented with some great opportunity, and way more people know who he is. And he retired John Cena. That's fucking the biggest thing you could possibly get. He could retire tomorrow and go down as a legend because you retired John Cena. Do not get me wrong. I like Gunther. I just feel like it's too. I'm very like down on WWE, and it's because I'm not getting the wrestling that I watch it for, and I just feel like the wrestling. He's one of the guys, like the actual like workhorses when it comes to wrestling, and I just feel like even that has not maybe connected with me in a way that maybe I thought the Seth match would be the show stealer of WrestleMania. It's an afterthought to me. But
there's also just across the board, but especially when it comes with Gunther, just this weird booking. Like he retired Goldberg, he retired John Cena, he retired AJ, and yes, there were some injury things. It looked like he was going into a program with Ray. Ray was a little injured, then Ray was fine. They pivoted. You know, you had the Braun injury, the Seth injury, then they're both fine, but they decided to go with Gunther Seth because it feels a bigger match, but it seemed completely out of nowhere. We talked, last week about how Seth is just not the Seth of old at all, and that was a 3-star match I thought they had at WrestleMania, and maybe stood out for some people because the rest of the show was 1-star matches, you know? Like, and then it's this weird, like, he kind of disappears again. We thought we were going to go to Randy and Cody again because of the end of WrestleMania, but Randy's banged up, so he's not on TV now. But we haven't really mentioned that he's banged up on TV. He's just disappeared. You have this favor with Heyman that people assume is to do with Brock. We don't know what's going on with Brock. Is he actually done? Is it not? It sounds like they've cashed in the favor already, and that is getting Gunther to SmackDown, which makes me think that maybe Brock is done. But now he's in a feud with Cody Rhodes, where I can't see Cody dropping this title, but really Gunther should win this title in Italy because of the momentum he has, because he should be this final boss at the moment. And maybe they, I can't see them doing it, but I think maybe they should. And you wonder in Italy as well, like European, like not far, like Italy's like neighbors with Austria, right? Like it's, you wonder if you'll have like a real strong reaction for Gunther there as well. And it might be a bit of a hometown crowd and advantage for Gunther, which will be interesting to see. And, you know, when we heard how rabid the Italian crowds were last year, that could actually make this match pretty special with that setting, rather than just having it in another city in the US. That could potentially elevate this match. But I think you've got to go with Gunther. Otherwise, what are we doing here?
I hope so. Like, I'm not trying to, I'm poking the bear a little, but I'm just saying I've been pretty bored of him. Like, I'm not saying he sucks. I'm not saying he's awful. I'm not saying he's washed. Not like I was saying Seth Rollins last week. I'm just saying, like, I used to think he was putting on, like, you know, to me, wrestling is an art. You know, it's like someone releasing an album that I really like, and I don't care. I never look at, this album sold this much and things like that. Wrestling fans are weird lately with like, well, the show did this ratings, therefore it sucks. And I'm like, yo,
how much money did it make?
Yeah, it's like, yo, if I fucked with it, if it connected with me, then like it was good and I liked it. Then it was good and I liked it. There's nothing, doesn't matter.
Shawshank Redemption fucking bombed in the cinema. And you look at majority of top lists of movies of all time.
Yeah,
it's normally top 3, right?
So like, I just feel like Gunther's wrestling the last year, the booking decisions have been bizarre. Goldberg, I forgot about Goldberg, Jey Uso, whatever. And
there's also been no, like, for a lot of his feuds, there hasn't been much story. You know, it's been like, okay, we're doing Seth Gunther now.
Go attack him.
Just do it.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
We're doing Seth Cody now. Why? Because he wants the title. Okay, fair, but why? Like, it's...
Yeah. I think this is a step in the right direction right now, like pivoting, because he should have been in a title match at WrestleMania. You retire John Cena. Like, that's just how I would have booked it. But hopefully
we need to heat up Ilya just to have that match on main roster to just remind everyone of what wrestling can be and what Gunther can be.
Yeah, it'll be a good 2.5 star Monday Night Raw match for sure if they ever rematch it. I could not imagine the WWE main roster version of that match. Ugh, it makes me sick to my stomach, fam. I think that match will be good though. Cody Gunther should not save. I mean, that show's gonna be crazy with the crowd alone.
I mean, Cody is someone who isn't afraid of getting beaten up and also delivering it as well, which is exactly what you want in a Gunther match. So,
what else? What else do you see added to this show?
So we've got a Saturday night's main event coming up as well, haven't we? With Ethan Page and Penta being announced so far. It's what else is there going on? There's a lot of women's tag stuff going on. Fatal Influence are getting great reactions again, and Meltzer reporting this week that they're kind of pivoting plans with them due to how popular they are already. So I wonder if we'll get them in either tag title match or even JC challenging Rhea or something like that.
Let's go. Fallon Henley deserves her flowers.
Yeah.
All right. She's going to get it. She's going to become a huge star, I think, in WWE. Like, I think she could be the big breakout from this group. As much as, I think all three right now is that's the one thing we wanted in NXT. We wanted Fallon to get this like opportunity or something. I think it will happen eventually because I'm seeing social media. NXT is hilarious because we cover NXT and then sometimes we talk about wrestlers that then never see the light of day on WWE main roster TV, like a Kona Reeves that me and you will joke about to this day. And some people are like, I don't know who that is, right? But in other cases, you have stars that go on TV, and then like the last few weeks, my social media, especially like Twitter or Instagram, is WWE fans who are
gooning.
I guess that's the word, yeah. Who are like, hey, who is this person? And apparently Fallon Henley's really popular right now. So that's all. I'll leave it at that. But I'm like, oh, it's interesting when like we talk about people, and me and you are kind of like, hey, we kind of like this Fallon girl, and then right away people are like, oh, who that? Who's this? So I think she's gonna be fine in WWE.
Now
she's also aware of it because she's been posting funny things like, yes, I never skip leg day, etc., etc. So yes.
Now I got home from work on Friday, and I'm winding down. I throw on a bit of Smackdown before I go to bed. Normally watch the first like 30 minutes to an hour, and we open with a great shot of Trick Williams in his like the high school football stadium or college football stadium he used to play in. Great drone shot. He's in his fur coat, looks $1 million, looks like a mega star. Great reaction coming out in his hometown. And then we're treated to Trick Williams versus The Miz to open the show. And I was like, Jesus F. Christ.
Now, I ain't watching that. Skip.
Now, what was interesting was this had louder reactions than anything on the show. Like crazy. It was the most over segment of the show. Like everyone was super into Trick. Can't take away from Trick. We've praised Trick Williams a lot on this show. Like he's got that star quality. He's connecting with the crowd. Like him and Oba, just the way they've connected with this like main roster crowd so quickly. We haven't really seen before from NXT call-ups. And I know you hate The Miz. I've always been a little bit like, there's a place for The Miz. He serves his purpose. I think he's been serving that purpose way too long now. But man, watching this match, it was the safest looking shit I've seen. It felt more choreographed than that Kalani Jordan Sol Ruka match at Heatwave, with a lot less acrobatics. Like every move felt like they were a foot away from each other from contact. There were all these like the whole thing was Trick always having the better of The Miz and being one step ahead and being able to counter everything. But you saw that look in their eyes each time where it's like, okay, you're going to come to me now and I'm going to duck and like all that. And the Trick knee at the end looked weak, and it just like, for me, it was, there's all that talk. I know Cody's been championing it, but we need house shows because like you would have like Trick and The Miz do a house show loop for a couple of weeks and perfect this match. And then when they're on TV, and they can do it safely like this. The strikes you can be 6 inches away from the face as you're delivering punches or knees or whatever. But when it comes to TV, it's all right. We know the match inside out now. let's be a bit more snug. Like, we can make this look like, I've never wrestled or whatever, but I did do stage combat at when I was training to be an actor, and like sword fighting and all that sort of stuff. And I remember my exam, we did the routine. It's like mix of like, you know, punching, kicking, and then rapier and dagger sword fighting each other. And the examiner said, was like, that was great, cool, but now try and kill the other person. We're like, what? It was like, you know what you're doing. You know the routine inside out. Try and kill him. And it's like, okay, so now we're swinging the swords like quite violently, but you know it all and you're blocking it and it looks real. And the thing is, these guys aren't getting these reps in and everything looks so safe. The WWE style is so safe that when anyone slightly breaks the mold, the match is then elevated and go, oh wow, that was great. It would still be like a fine match on a Dynamite or whatever, but I just think especially someone like a Trick needs this. Miz has almost prided himself on working this safe style.
That's the style I'm talking about.
And good for him. He's lasted a long time, but man, like I'm watching in like 4K, like just nothing landing. Like it looks like a little dance routine they're doing, but at least when, you know, the women do it, we get a few cool backflips that look nice. You know, it just, the crowd ate it up, like, sure, but on TV, this just looked the fakest, softest, safest shit.
That's how I feel about WWE matches. Like, it's not like pro wrestling, it's WWE TV. You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely this watered down fight that's supposed to be, it's a parody of wrestling, is what WWE style kind of is. And the Miz, you know what? Life is short. And in 2026, I don't have any seconds, minutes, hours, any time to watch the Miz. So life is short. Miz, I'm sorry. We don't need you anymore. Your time is, go to your home planet. Your time is up. Please. The time he came to play, and now go away. Because, man, hearing you talk about the Miz, I'm like, yeah, I could just sit here all day hearing about the Miz. But no, life is too short. We don't need to be watching or talking about the Miz in 2026. Terrible that he's still booked, but hey, the crowd loved it, and he got Danhausen over last week. He got Trick over this week. I guess he's still doing something right, but
like, torches need to be passed on, right? Like, as I said, I understand the purpose of the Miz. Like, he's very comfortable on the mic, very easy to hate. He's very happy to eat shit and help get guys over. But he's been doing this for 20 years now.
He didn't look good 20 years ago. He ain't looking good now. Like, yeah. He definitely needs to go away. I'm sorry, Miz. I bet he's such a nice guy. He's like the WWE PR guy. Like, he's such a team player, and like, I totally understand. I'm not saying he should stop doing that. I'm just like, man, like, he's got to be the more I think about it, I think he's one of my least favorite wrestlers of all time. Like, every wrestling fan has
Natalia.
You didn't even need to think about it, of course. Every wrestling fan has that, like, one or two wrestlers that, like, you just can't stand. You got that, like, X-Pac heat, like that go away heat. And I think for me, it's the Miz. I think he is one of my again, bless him. Sure, he's a nice lad, but I think he's got to be my least favorite. Like, as soon as I see him, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to watch this. I don't want to be here. It's literally skip, change the channel. Is that Natalia for you?
Yeah, 100%.
Is there any others that come
and
to
somehow
mind?
She's on every WWE show all the time.
Mark Henry comes to mind.
Mark Henry. Yeah. Oh, but that Hall of Pain run. Yeah, was it really that good? Was it really that good?
The jacket was nice, but the match with John sucked.
I will say, like, a bright spot on SmackDown this week, we had Carmelo Hayes return from injury, which was good to see. And I thought this match actually kind of went against what I just said about the safe style. He took on Ricky Saints to crickets, unfortunately. Like, neither of these guys are particularly over at the moment, which the injury really, like, stalled Carmelo, because I think he was getting over with that US title run and putting on bangers every week. And Ricky Saints hasn't quite connected on the main roster yet, I would say, but because a lot of people don't really know who he is. But I thought these guys had a pretty good match, and it was more snug. And Ricky even pulled out this like suplex into a Northern Lights bomb, like almost dropping Mello on his head, which looked pretty great. And I thought this was pretty good, and maybe slowly these two can get over on their wrestling. I wonder if it's time to try maybe a bit of a heel run with Mello. I'd like to see him maybe feud with Trick again and get back in that US title picture.
Right.
But, you know, the crowd weren't going to give you this opinion because they were sitting on their hands. But I actually thought these two had a pretty good match on SmackDown.
I could see Carmelo rising to the occasion. Like, again, like every time he seems to be counted out, the wrestling for sure speaks for himself. Like he gets... I would like to see him with a heel run. I don't know. I do think it's not necessarily over for him. I see some big things coming, hopefully, because I always was a big fan of him in NXT. It's just crazy how popular Trick has overshadowed him right now. So,
yeah. And I've also still been quite enjoying how Sami Zayn has been with this his new character. The everyone's against him. Nick Aldis calling him entitled. But here you had an unhappy Rey Fenix. Have you been seeing this stuff? Shock horror, Rey Fenix isn't happy with his booking.
Oh no, better undo the handcuffs. Better release him from prison, right?
Yeah. I think there was a tweet about his brother Penta being IC champion, and he basically said, I'm happy for my brother, but when am I gonna get my shot? And well, it looks like he might be facing Sammy maybe next week, because he was like, Sammy, you're just not the guy I remembered and I respected. I'm like, when have you two ever done fucking anything together? What is Rey Fenix and Sami Zayn's history? But yeah, like, I mean, look, Rey Fenix is an incredible talent, but I think it's things like this that put you off, right?
Absolutely. Oh, 100%. I think last week we were talking about the Seth Rollins thing. Like Seth fucking up a few moves. That's fucking wrestlers botch all the time. It's fine. It's part of it. But he fucked up the moves that Ospreay is known for doing, and you famously shit on Ospreay on the internet. Well, karma's a bit of a bitch, isn't it? I feel the same way with Rey Fenix here, with that tweet of him being like, oh, I really want my opportunity. I wanted this and this and this. Well, that's funny because when you were in AEW, you were posting these silly, absurd photos with you in the straitjacket, as you see here. All this, what were people called? Guantanamo Bay? Yeah. Really funny stuff now.
And when you think he was on TV all the time, until like these comments, and until it was clear that the Lucha Bros were unhappy and he wanted to leave, he was on TV all the time. He was on pay-per-views all the time. Okay, maybe he wanted a big singles run, and I think there was an opportunity for both Penta and Phoenix have a singles run or an extended feud with each other. We kept on saying that during their time in AEW. But man, they had some of the greatest matches in AEW history against the Young Bucks. They were prominent, like right in the beginning. Like, you know, he was getting paid and treated well during his injury. Like, I don't know. There's other people I look at their career, and yes, we don't know everything going on behind the scenes, but there's other people you look at during their career, and you're like, okay, like, well, maybe that's justified. But Rey Fenix, and now, yeah, I agree he's been completely misused in WWE. I said when he came in, we were looking at that gaping hole in the men's division of NXT, and how that is how Rey Fenix should come in. Like, think takeovers, like you could have had a Rey Fenix, Ricky Saints going for the title, something like that, which would have probably been a pretty good NXT PLE main event, but rushed him to the main roster without his brother as a tag team. And we say, like, WWE fans aren't necessarily, or you don't necessarily get the chance to showcase your wrestling as much as you would in AEW. So it's going to be harder to get like over from wrestling alone. And then you look at Penta, who's got the makeup, he's got the walk, he's got the catchphrase. Of course that's going to connect right away.
Yeah.
And looking different from any other luchador we've ever seen in WWE.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like the thing is, I think this wouldn't be an issue, and I wouldn't be saying like, hey, look at you now. Don't you regret these tweets from all the time ago? Because you look bad doing that. You look like I think he's an incredible wrestler. And you know what? I think they will realize and use him eventually. We will get a Lucha Bros run in WWE. Hopefully we will get his time to shine. I'm just assuming this because like he's so good. Don't get me wrong. I love this guy, but it's the same thing. You were the one complaining and you chose to post these tweets. You chose to go publicly and post that photo of you in the straitjacket. And then all this time later, you're saying the same thing about WWE. It's like, sorry, man. Like the grass isn't always greener on the other side, is it? I guess. Like as a fan, we just want to see you wrestle. And maybe like, you know, I do think the Lucha Bros time was up in AEW. As a fan, it's like they did everything. Tony wasn't going to book them as single stars. Why not go to WWE? Like, why not? Worst case scenario, it doesn't work. You go back to the indies. They basically run Lucha if they wanted to. Like, right? Like now WWE owns AAA. They're going to be fine in WWE system. It's just, yeah, this wouldn't have been a thing if you didn't talk shit before, and now you're regretting it, I guess. But
like maybe he has, but if I was him, I'd be like, you know, what we saw Chelsea Green do. Put me on any show you want. If you want me on NXT, I'll
maybe
do
that's
NXT.
how we got on SmackDown here.
You want me on Evolve, I'll be on Evolve. You want me in AAA, I'll do AAA. Like,
right.
I think that's what he needs to do. And unfortunately, it's like even his look, like his mask and everything, it's so similar to Dragon Lee. Like every time one of them's on the screen, I'm like, which one's this again? It's probably Dragon Lee because they use him more. Like,
yeah, and he's got wings because he's a dragon. Yeah. Ray Phoenix has become generic luchador for sure since joining WWE, and I think he'll bounce back, and he should. He's an incredible wrestler. It's just you won't get the quality. Like even Penta, huge success in WWE. I haven't had a match that thus far that's like hit like an AEW version of Penta. You know, like their matches, and you mentioned the Young Bucks matches, that cage match, any of the tag matches, like they were incredible. It's just WWE watered down a little bit. But
anything else from WWE you wanted to talk about?
I am pretty down on it, and I feel like the wrestling isn't connecting. It feels like you're watching one long commercial break, and like it just, I don't know, it's not hitting for me. At any week they could turn it around and produce some good stuff. So like obviously we still watch. It's our job here to talk about it, but I can't pretend that like I'm excited about anything that they're putting on.
I want to shout out before we move on, Joe Tessitore with one of the most insane calls I've ever said. I've ever heard.
Okay.
And I'm saying this as a somewhat fan of the Bella Twins, but there was a tag match, and this was, apart from the Trick Williams opener, this crowd was pretty fucking dead throughout the whole show. And Joe goes, "Oh my God, the roof is about to blow off this place when Paige makes that tag to Brie Bella." I was like, I'm out. What? What? A Brie Bella hot tag is about in 2026 is about to blow the roof off this place. God bless you, Joe. That I thought was fucking hilarious.
Yeah. WWE just ain't for me right now, but bless them. Make your money. Pay your wrestlers, though. Pay your wrestlers.
It's all about NXT Evolve and AAA right now in WWE.
That's right. That's right. NXT. We are NXT. Shawn Michaels. Bless him. Undertaker in AAA. Bless him. Booker of the Year. We thought it was AAA this weekend. You tricked me.
I keep on. I think I've said for the last month it's this weekend.
You're like, oh yeah, AAA this weekend.
2 weeks away.
So the mask will be an ongoing bit. 2 weeks.
30th, May 30th, I believe. But I stood to be corrected.
Is the Clash the next day then? Or is it the same day?
Clash in Italy is Ooh.
Well, Clash in Italy might be
I
the
think
Sunday
it's
then.
that same weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, it might
May
be.
31st. Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Yeah, so there's a lot of wrestling. Every weekend there's a lot of wrestling.
It's a Sunday show. That's interesting. Cool.
And it's during the day, I guess.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Okay. Nice. Yes, there you go. That's the WWE chat. I'm sure we'll talk some more on Tuesday, talking about NXT on Post Wrestling, maybe a little bit about some Monday Night Raw as well. But let's switch gears and talk about some AEW. We mentioned Double or Nothing next weekend. Queens at the, what stadium is this?
The Louis Armstrong Stadium.
Louis Armstrong. See the trumpet player?
Yeah, and really good at tennis as well.
Was he the astronaut? Or was that Neil Armstrong?
That's Neil Armstrong. Louis is, what a wonderful world.
Louis lit.
Louis great.
Double or Nothing has sold out next weekend. Big deal for AEW. They're definitely cooking right now. 14,000+ tickets sold for AEW. Crazy for this.
I think they're saying it's the second highest selling AEW show in the US or in North America, even, I believe.
I'm going to assume behind All In then.
All In. I think, the first Arthur Ashe would have shifted more tickets, but I'm guessing sort of cheaper. Revenue and stuff for this is better. But yeah, so over 14,000 tickets distributed. I wonder if they could have probably done Arthur Ashe at this point for this event.
Yeah, with a week away, like you would imagine. I wonder, is there sections that they could open up to? This just says sold out. Yeah,
like when I looked at capacity for Louis Armstrong Stadium, it says it's like just 14,000+. So it sounds like it is a sellout.
This is going to be a packed show. It's going to sound loud. It's going to be good. This crowd is going to be really loud. You love to see it. Like, this is a company. I mentioned we went to Dynasty a few weeks ago, but I also went to Edmonton and I went to see some family, and I took my cousin to Dynamite, and they're still doing these giant arenas, and there's only like 5,000 people in these things. And you're seeing the way of the world right now, where artists are canceling tours and giving reasons and excuses when really it's low ticket sales. Like Dynamite, if you're going by what other artists are doing, they would cancel these shows if like 5,000 for a Dynamite in a 15,000 seat arena, right? But
I mean, TV and stuff like can help that, and like it's as long as it looks good on TV,
as long as
like,
it looks good and sounds good, like you can have a 5,000 people in a thing, and they sound louder than 10,000 people who don't really like want to be there or whatever. But it's great to see that they did this for New York. And New York seems to be their kind of, they've taken over that hub. WWE obviously do MSG. We've seen MJF recently and the Young Bucks teasing and talking about how their dream is to wrestle at MSG. So I'm sure that's still something that AEW want to conquer at one point, whether or not MSG and WWE allow that. But that easily would be a sellout of a show if they ever were to announce that. It would be something I'd be interested to go down to it as well. But this is great. Like 14,000, they're on a hot run right now.
What would you say has been that? Is it anything on this card that you think has really shifted these tickets? Is it just the general momentum? Is it because it's in New York, which is a bit of a hotbed of wrestling? Like, is it a combination of all those three? Like, what
I think so.
What would you put down to this being so successful?
I think it would be a little bit of everything. Like, just as popular as they are. Like, every time they run New York, we were in New Jersey in November for Full Gear, and like there was a lot of people there too. It was a big crowd. I just feel like right now there is a bit of a momentum going. If WWE is as popular as right now, then wrestling as a whole, so that's got to bring some more interest into an AEW. But I just feel like the product overall has been extremely good in the last 6 months, that they've been on this heat wave of just like they keep giving out good content. The MJF story with all these different challengers coming after him was really good. Pivoting to Darby with this insane run that is probably coming to an end this next weekend, but it's been an insane championship run that I think also adds some like interest. For me personally, like the thing that made me go, okay, Davey, you're right. We should book the flight. Takeshita Okada. They've been, that's been bubbling under the surface. I think it's a little bit of everything. New York is always going to have these people who show up for these events, but the momentum of AEW right now, MJF being like one of the hot characters, I do think he's on a crazy run at the moment. And yeah,
maybe like the
matches,
Double or Nothing branding as well. It's always been one of their biggest shows, right? And it's the first time that's been in New York. Obviously, it was in Vegas for the longest time. And was it Arizona last year? I'm trying to remember. But yeah, and all the metrics showing that MJF on top is, I know he's not the champ right now, but he's still on top. He's still in the main story right now.
Yeah.
Is really good for business, and it's been incredible for them recently. Like his segments do really well. His pay-per-view buys when he is on top have done very well.
He's good, honestly. Like, I love to hate this guy. Like, he's as good as protecting his character, like the Undertaker in the 90s. Like, this guy is such a good wrestler, is so entertaining. You can't wait to see him get his ass kicked. And he's just really good at his job. I do think he's on a generational run right now, and I love tuning in to watch him, and I love the stuff at Darby. I kind of want MJF to win it back. I think it's more interesting that way, with the potential of Ospreay v MJF at All In, or maybe we go to MJF to losing it before All In potentially. Double or Nothing is sold out, but look at the tickets for Shout Out WrestleTix for All In. It's like around like 25,000 or something like that.
Yeah. So this was WrestleTix reporting on May 14th, so 3 days ago, that tickets distributed so far, 24,347. They've currently got the setup for 36,249, with available tickets 11,902. Now, I think the last All In London did around 50,000. Obviously, that includes papering as well, like free tickets. And then the first one distributed over 80,000. So a long way away from the first two. And I'm kind of surprised, because I think the product is so much better than it was going into All In 2, that second Wembley show. I think the first one did very well just based on it being the first show in, well, not just the UK, but in Europe. It being Wembley, like people wanted to go because it felt like the very first All In Chicago. It feels like this is an important event, and wrestling fans are like, I want to be at this important event. But I am kind of surprised with them being so low, because the product is so much better than in 2024. And what would you maybe put that down to?
I will say, as someone who, I love going to concerts. I buy tickets for events. I don't go to sporting events too often, but I do, especially with friends who are like, hey, I got tickets to the Leafs, let's go. I go to wrestling events. I go to concerts. If it's something that is a big event like this, that's a stadium, like Jay-Z is doing some stadium shows in New York. Like, I tried to get tickets because I will travel for that show. It was insanely hard. I was like 1,400,000 in queue or something stupid like that. So I'm not going to that show. But I'm someone who, if I want to go to a music festival, I will try to plan and maybe make a trip out of it. Like, that's just how I am personally. That being said, I like having things way in advance. I like when a concert tells me their dates for the next whole year. And the artists that I followed have done that. I was able to plan some concerts in the summer. Am I going to travel for this? Should I go to a show in Toronto? Should I go to Detroit? I like to know when someone's playing in November, even though it's November right now or whatever. Like, I like to know in advance. AEW, I would say, isn't so good at being on top of that, in my opinion. I'm not saying this is the exact reason why, but there's we're assuming that they're going to announce this Montreal show for July 26th, my birthday. That's in like 2 months. So, like, wouldn't you announce stuff like way before? that's what I'm trying to get at is we knew All In was announced a year ago, but the tickets didn't go on sale until like a month ago or something like that. So
why? The date's been set in stone. Like I would try to get them on sale before Christmas.
Exactly.
I don't know. I know in the past they've done like family tickets, but like Christmas Day, you're giving the kids like, we're gonna go to Wembley in the summer, and you have time to plan that. Like it's hotels get expensive, travel gets expensive.
Absolutely.
Europe, you're gonna get people from mainland Europe wanting to go to this show as well, and everything goes up in price. But I think as well, as fans, like, oh well, the last one didn't sell out, and it's a disadvantage being a huge stadium because well, there's lots of tickets, so I don't need to rush to buy these tickets. We saw that the last time didn't sell out, and maybe you see that the early sales, not many shifted. I don't need to panic yet. So I imagine I wouldn't say there's maybe 25, 30,000 people waiting to buy last minute.
But there's potentially 5, 10, maybe. Like, I do think it's just again, love this wrestling company. I go to their shows. I have a great time. I love watching it. They treat us good. It's fine. However, a gripe I have is like, you should be announcing things way more ahead of advance, and you should be putting tickets on sale way ahead. And that one was clear as day. I was like, why would they not put them out for Christmas? You probably could have got 20. You probably could have gotten a whole other 10K just from the Christmas season of random people being like, yeah, whatever. I'll buy a wrestling ticket or whatever. I don't know what it is. It's like WWE, I guess. Sure, I'll buy a ticket for Christmas for someone. That was like you hit it on the head. That was baffling to me. And I just think, I go to other events and they announce things so far in advance. Like local like D-League teams, hockey teams that play in rinky-dink arenas announce their schedule for the next year. Why can't this company get their tickets on sale way far in advance is something I have noticed. And if this is, hey, the tickets are only at 25,000, which by the way is a lot more than what was last year in Texas. I think there was only about 22,000 people in that stadium as well. I'm just saying, put the tickets, announce things way in advance, and put the tickets way in advance, because you're going to see this again if they do announce the Montreal Redemption show. Why are you only announcing and putting tickets on sale 2 months before the show actually happens? That's actually insane.
We're pretty sure we know when and where that show is going to be. But we're not going to pull the trigger on buying a flight or a train or a bus or whatever. Exactly. Even though it's cheaper now than it will be in a month's time. Yeah. We're not going to risk pulling the trigger on that until we know 100%. Because, we've seen in the past shows that it seemed a lock-in to be in certain cities and then it moves or whatever. So
I do think they need to maybe just get on that a little bit better of like announcing a year in advance. Like sometimes WWE goes, hey, look, this is our year in advance. Look at the cities we're going to hit. And these are the pay-per-views and these are the Raws and the Smackdowns. Like something I saw my mom last week for Mother's Day. Shout out all the moms out there, or whenever I saw my mom. Was it last week? Yeah. And she, every morning before she goes to work, she watches like breakfast television here in Toronto. And WWE announced like a Raw or Smackdown here in Toronto in the summertime, right? About a few weeks ago, and they had WWE promotion on TV already and everything. So my mom goes, "Oh, are you going to this huge event? Apparently, is coming to Toronto. What is this?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? What do you mean?" And she's like, "Yeah, they were talking about it on breakfast television about this huge wrestling event coming to the Air Canada or the Scotiabank." And I'm like, "It's fucking SmackDown. Yeah, it's not some giant big event." But to my mom, who has no idea about wrestling, she's like, "Oh, I heard that this huge event is coming." I'm like, "Why doesn't AEW do that kind of stuff?"
Now, I mean, this was at the AEW Dynasty presser was something I kind of tried to like question Tony Khan about, and that was, you've got this deal with ITV, which honestly, it's great they're on ITV. Okay, that's in everyone's home, but it's ITV4. So it's not the main channel. It's ITV4. It's on a tape delay, and it's not in a primetime slot. It's like late in the evening. or you can watch it on ITVX, which is like their streaming platform. So watch on demand whenever you like. But something that a lot of things do in the UK is cross promotion. Now, I've shown you some of those panel comedy shows, right? Like the game shows. And you normally have a couple of comedians, and then you'll get a rugby player or someone who did long jump at the Olympics on the team or something like that. And as you mentioned, breakfast TV. Will Ospreay would be perfect for these things. I think he's got such a lovable personality. He's a little bit stupid, which is in an endearing way. You know, people love that. Like in the UK, these characters that have got over are, you know, the only way is Essex people who are lovable dimwits, you know, like they really get popular. He's been in the UK rehabbing for the last, 6-7 months. He should be on these shows. He should be on these, you know, The Wall on ITV or whatever these shows are, and be on morning TV, explaining a little bit about who he is and what wrestling is, and show just a highlight reel of the incredible shit this man can do. And people might be like, oh, he's not what I consider a wrestler to be. Because to me, wrestling, especially in the UK, oh, it's Big Daddy and giant haystacks. It's two fat blokes, or it's this very quote unquote fake WWE style.
Yeah.
And maybe you see Will Ospreay, who comes across as a normal bloke, a bloke you'd see down your local pub and you'd have a beer with and have a chat with. He would be so endearing to people. And we've seen that on like the latest season of Celebrity Traitors. Like this rugby player is just, I'm seeing him on everything now. I had no idea who he was, but he came across so well on that show. And, you know, he should have been on TV promoting this thing when tickets went on sale when he was rehabbing. Yeah. You've now had the Owen announced. Okay, the thing is with wrestling is you are telling stories. You can't announce now 2-3 matches that are going to happen at Wembley because it's too far away and it screws up your storytelling. But you can have Will Ospreay on radio, on breakfast TV. He can explain what the Owen is. He can explain about Owen Hart. He can explain that this tournament that I'm going to go in, and if I win this tournament, I am going to headline Wembley Stadium in front of my home crowd. You're telling people I'm in the main event of Wembley in August.
Right.
But you're doing it in a kayfabe way where you might go, oh, and you can watch me. I've got my first round match is going to be on my AEW, and it's only $9.99 or whatever it is. But if I get through that, next Wednesday on Dynamite on ITV4, I could be facing Brody King or whoever. And man, that's going to be tough. And you show a picture of this huge, scary looking tattooed guy and go, that's going to be a tough challenge for me. But, you know, I've beaten him in the past. Things like that get people to understand, oh, wrestling isn't what I thought it was. And I kind of want to support this guy. I don't know what it is. Something that like UK, a lot of nations do, but UK really support people who are talented and people who do well. You always see it with the Olympics. Suddenly it's like some UK National Olympic Tiddlywinks champion and they're all over everything because it's like, wow, you did that for our small little island of a country. That's incredible. They really get behind people. And, you know, Tony said in that presser, like, yeah, I'd love to do some more cross promotion, but you wonder how much those conversations are going. Because I put on breakfast TV sometimes when I'm back home, and there's still all these bullshit segments. There's a random psychic that comes on. There's like the odd like cooking bit. It's like you're telling me you can have 12 minutes, 7 minutes for a Will Ospreay, a Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor going there together. You know, like use your Brits. Instead, they've got the Big Show there. And sure, you might have some people who are like, oh, I remember the Big Show. But that's not... He ain't wrestling. Like, no, why is the Big Show there?
Like, I know a little bit about, like, what, Big Fat Quiz of the Year, what, 8 out of 9, or
8 out of 10 cats. Yeah,
like,
Mock
I know,
the Week.
Like the UK panel shows, like some people over here, at least in Canada, like are aware of those kinds of things, but you do have to kind of go out of your way to watch them here in North America. But some people are aware of them. But like, just imagine a UK panel show, I'm picturing Jimmy Carr and Will Ospreay and all these other fucking blokes hanging out and having a chat and joking around. I'm like, that could do so much for the brand of people just aware of what a wrestling company is. That
you
exists.
know, Gogglebox, negotiate for it to be one of the shows they have to sit. If those in North America or the rest of the world that don't know what Gogglebox is, it sounds ridiculous. It's a show. It's like friends, families, couples all over the UK, and they're sitting down watching a bunch of TV shows, and it's showing their reactions. But it's actually really funny because you're seeing how they're reacting to these shows, and maybe they don't regularly watch this show, or just the different personalities, the different classes and regional accents and all that. It is kind of fun, and sometimes I'm watching it and I get interested about a show they're watching. I'm like, oh, what is that? Maybe I'll check that out. Like, I'm just picturing some of these like old women sat down watching a Dynamite match or whatever. Oh, what they, Moxie putting skewers in someone's head, and like the reactions would be hilarious for non-wrestling fans to watch this stuff. I think there's such an untapped opportunity there, and even if they could get like an hour, like, highlights of Dynamite and Collision in an hour format on ITV on a Sunday afternoon or something, just better than they have already, because I guarantee majority of those 25,000 people have probably been using Watch Wrestling or Triller or all these other things. And there's all these other resources that are just not being used at all.
I will say, again, down on WWE lately, but it's so accessible as a Canadian. I'll keep banging that drum. It's like I just click a button and it's like right there. AEW is not that easy. I gotta buy a TSN app, which fucking garbage, and then I gotta use a VPN if I got it. I don't even get me started. I'm embarrassed to ask you for the you said you got the My AEW. I have not even tried it yet because I'm like, this is too much work to go through. I just made my sandwich and have my coffee and I want to watch AEW. So what's easier? Clicking watch wrestling. That's what I used yesterday and today, because I was like, I literally, because me and you, we do this for a living. We do, buy Netflix. We used to buy TSN, but their app sucks so much that we were like, no, let's use Triller and VPNs and stuff. It's just sometimes it's so much more difficult and extra steps to go put it on my TV that I'm like, fuck this. I'm watching Watch Wrestling on my TV in Screen Mirror. And I did that. And that's how I've been using it. And I'm like, why can't they just get on like Crave or like, I guess HBO Max has Dynamite, right? In the States, whereas like we don't have that. So like it would be,
I mean, it's contracts, right? It's they've got to deal with TSN, which is it's like good. They need to be on TV. Right?
Yes,
but
of course. Yeah. I completely agree. It's just they're on TSN 2, which is like, all right, well, it's like channel 96 if you do have cable. But yeah, we're in the age of, I'm a millennial with doesn't have cable, and I use streaming services that I have no problem paying for. It's just like make it more accessible. We've been talking about AEW, and for the like first time in a while, we've actually been talking about the business side of it and like things that as a fan, like we see the little holes of like, well, why are ticket sales underwhelming for All In? Well, you could be doing X, Y, Z, and maybe they do try that kind of stuff. But yeah, that being said, been loving the product right now.
Absolutely.
Like the wrestling, this week's Dynamite, starting off with a hilarious segment with MJF walking backstage with all the bald men in the company who were.
There's a lot of them.
And there was some missing, I think, as well. But there's a lot of baldies. Shout out to the bald kings worldwide represent. I thought this segment was hilarious. And then Ricochet at the end being like, I think you'll look pretty good. So even heel on heel violence where Ricochet is like, yo, fuck you, essentially. I thought this segment was so good. I had to rewind it. I thought, again, I think MJF is going to be someone who maybe breaks out through Hollywood. I know he's been doing acting and stuff, but he's genuinely hilarious. I thought that was something that felt like the most WWE segment in AEW.
Yeah, I think MJF segments often are, but I think done in a good way. Like I enjoy them. Yeah, I love this hook, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's way more believable than MJF never challenging for the title again, and it's actually cast doubt. We've still got a long way to go before All In, and we'll get into the Owen brackets after this to kind of, you know, see how we think things might be moving. But Darby doesn't need to drop the title next Sunday. I don't see him going to All In as the champion, but you could get another few weeks out of this for sure. And where are you leaning this week? Will MJF be bald?
You know what? Like, they totally got me with the, like, I still am going to say he's winning the title. It's New York. It's his hair is on the line. But as you said last week, like, hey, these hair plug things, you can shave your head. It will grow back. But I don't know. His hair looks like it's in pristine condition right now. But maybe he's got a movie role that we don't know about. He's going to shave his head. I genuinely do not think he's losing, but it's wrestling. Stranger things have happened. It's become a great hook for this match. And again, the past few weeks of this Darby run, that's been this like, just like go, wrestle every week, defend the title. And every week you're having like stellar TV matches. I think this match itself will be awesome. I think these two are going to wrestle, trying to go out and put on something special considering the history with these guys. You know that they have.
Yeah, man. Their match from, was it Revolution a few years ago? I loved. So I'm very much looking forward to this.
Yeah, I think this is a big part of also why the tickets did sell really well for Queens. As like, he's a New Yorker. He's, well, Long Island, but he's that they've taken over the New York market. Like, they definitely do well there. And I just think that it's a big part is this MJF. I don't know, this run that he's on right now is a big story arc in AEW that I'm personally interested in. So I think this is a good hook for this main event. Even though I do think Darby's losing, I still think we're in for a treat, or maybe a shock. I don't know. I think you think he's gonna go bald.
I kind of do, yeah. I do.
You're crazy. No way. Look at that hair.
I think it could, like, I think it would be great for his character. Like, I think he could then flip and be a bit of a, you know, you do the comedy shit for a little bit and then flip and be like really nasty. I think he could look quite scary with the bald head and the beard. And also, he can grow that hair out in a month. You know, it's not. Yeah. Like, it's not like he had like long, luscious locks, is it? Right. He's got like my length hair.
Yeah, it's not
like, just
long,
a little bit more. It doesn't take long. Like, mine grows out in, I get mine cut like every 6 weeks. You know,
again, the Burberry do-rag's gonna move mountains. Burberry do-rag's gonna sell like hotcakes at AEWshop.com. Sell it.
So we had the main event of Dynamite of Darby Allin versus Takeshita for the AEW Championship, and then obviously the contract signing that took place afterwards. But man, this might be the greatest like championship run of matches in AEW. I know it's not been long, but like, I can't think of a better series of matches from any champion in AEW to the ones Darby's had so far.
And in such a short amount of time, like every single week for the last few weeks, the Ciampa one, this Kevin Knight one, even I watched Collision last night as well. There was a fun match with him and Sammy Guevara. Definitely did not.
Why is Sammy Guevara getting a championship shot?
Yeah, that was definitely weird. MJF on social media was like, "Hey, I'll give you $500K if you win, so I don't have to shave my head." But unfortunately, he didn't pay him. I've been loving this, but Takeshita, one of my favorites. It literally went down the way I think we said last week. I was like, well, if Okada isn't actually there because, you know, family stuff or whatever the reason, then Takeshita's got to be winning the match, and Don Callis tries to get him to cheat, and he goes, "No, I don't want to cheat," and that's what ends up costing him. And oh, wouldn't you look, the diamond ring and all that stuff. So protects Takeshita in this storyline, but also you got like this insane matchup. Takeshita is my safe place. You know, some people come home after a long day of work, they have a beer, maybe smoke a cigarette, smoke a joint, watch some TV. I just feel like if I'm in a bad mood, I'll just put on a Takeshita match and all my worries will go away. This guy is just incredible to watch. The reason I'm going to New York is because I was like, I cannot miss Takeshita Okada. That fucking German suplex off the top with the bridge. Like, the guy wrote his paper on German suplexes, so he's the king of it. Look at this. Beautiful.
It was, yeah, like, I don't know how you do that safely. I love Darby Allin. I think he's incredible. I'm so glad to see him as the champion right now. Like, I think he's been such a great character. He has been the heart of AEW. But there's, like, this might be one of the craziest bumps he's ever done. And you look back, and I mean, we were there. I think that ladder through the glass and chairs is probably the craziest. Yeah. But then I was seeing pop up on my feed yesterday. Remember when Hobbs and who was it? Was it Big Bill
Takeshita.
or someone? No, Hobbs and Takeshita just launched him across the ring, and he snaps his head against the ropes. I so worry one day that it's going to go terribly wrong. And it could be the death of this company, because you'd be like, why would you let a guy do that? But man, that German suplex, I've never seen that before. Like, holding on. We've seen where they flip and essentially do a moonsault or whatever. Holding on straight down into a bridge, how you're not snapping this guy in half was mental. Like, just absolutely bonkers. Like, we've seen skewers, we've seen blowtorches, we've seen people get hit by cars, we've seen all this crazy shit, and maybe one of the top 5 scariest things I've ever seen is just an avalanche German suplex with a bridge. It was just nasty.
You know, Darby and Takeshita are very different styles in wrestling, and I think that's what made it so interesting. But it's almost that kind of way, like when anyone has a match with Takeshita, it's almost like you're wrestling this kind of strong style, right? Because he's like, German suplexing you and forearming you, and he's really snug and strong and makes the shit look like it's an actual fight. You have to kind of go to his level, like when someone fights like an Ilya or something, right? It's the same when Darby has a match, because the opponent is now forced to do insane things to try to kill this guy, right? Like, we saw it with Andrade, where Andrade's like, fuck, I guess I got to do these crazy stuff because you do this, right? So I find anytime Takeshita has a match or Darby has a match, and there's other wrestlers who are similar, that like it's always that like the intriguing factor. So now when you took Takeshita and Darby and you put them together, I'm like, I want to watch them wrestle again. I think Darby is on this awesome run with this title. I do think Darby is losing at Double or Nothing, but I do think he should be getting a title again down the line. Like, this showed that he can easily run with the ball and run extremely well with it. He's doing triple dunks with it and breaking glass with it, I guess. But I loved this match. The Blue Thunder Bomb was crazy too, off the apron to the floor. Like, oh man, incredible match. And I'm very excited for both these guys next week. But Takeshita is just my favorite to watch, honestly.
In a weird way, this run's reminded me of the Continental Classic, where you just know every week you're gonna get like
a banger,
some incredible matches. Except this is just Darby every
week.
How was the Sammy match? All I saw was the clip of Darby kind of passing out whilst holding on the sharpshooter.
It was fine.
Scorpion Deathlock.
Yes, it was fine. There was a cool, it was a Falls Count Anywhere, so they were doing, like, Sammy did a huge Jeff Hardy swanton off a ladder through a table. That was pretty nuts. And I don't think anyone was buying Sammy winning, so that definitely adds to it, or takes away from it. But it was fine for a collision match, but obviously nowhere on the level of it was better than I think it had any right to be, but not necessarily on the level of the Takeshita. Still a crazy run. Every week the guy's gonna defend the title, and that's where it's gonna end up being his detriment, where he's gonna lose it. So been loving this story with Darby, MJF, and again, it's continuing everyone who wrestles on TV should be here for a reason, and the reason is to be a fucking champion. And I think whatever the light switch that clicked in the last little while, where now every single person is saying, I want to be champion. Okada mentions, I want to be champion. Fucking Sammy Guevara says he wants to be champion. That's the way it should be. this is wrestling. The story should be, I want to be champion
Yeah.
or I want to be the best. Then it's so simple. So I do think that is the key to like why I'm finding the stories a bit more interesting, just for me as a fan. And everyone's gunning for the gold.
So I'm blanking who they announced for his match on Dynamite next week.
Speedball. That's gonna be fucking mental.
Yeah,
that's gonna be crazy. So yeah, really looking forward to that as well. I do hope they add Speedball Kevin Knight to Double or Nothing.
I feel they're gonna hold that off until Redemption.
Oh, right, Montreal.
And I wonder if you get a Kevin Knight heel turn, maybe.
Oh, interesting.
Or at least tease it, like obviously being in Montreal, like Speedball's gonna be the baby face, so you can kind of play about with Kevin Knight being enemy territory.
Like what if Speedball loses to Darby on Wednesday, and then Kevin's like, hey, even though you lost that, how about you face me on Sunday for my belt? And then Kevin Knight turns on him. So therefore, by the time we get to Montreal, Speedball can be this like heroing babyface.
There's also still some involvement with Kevin Knight running out to save Darby from the Avalanche tombstone. Like there's still some involvement with him in this MJF story. Like I wonder if it's to team him with MJF or something. I don't know. Like I don't know. I mean, it could be MJF and Kevin Knight coming out of this pay-per-view, but we have seen that a couple of times now. Like I just found it curious that Kevin Knight's still involved. Like he's still like in the orbit of this MJF Darby world title picture.
Again, that adds to what I was just saying. Look, it's actually a little bit of a pet peeve where one champion is calling out another title that he wants, but it's another character being like, hey, I want that belt.
I want more.
I want to be champion. I do. That is such a thing. And Collision, they're like, and here's the trios champion being interviewed, and right away they're like, yeah, how about we go for gold? I'm like, you guys are champion. Oh my god,
yeah,
pisses me off. But that's a little thing, not here nor there. But what else were we just saying?
We got the brackets for the Owen Hart Cup, which. Man, I am so disappointed with this. I mean, we can certainly talk about it and sort of theorize, but starting with the men's, we're getting Joe versus Ospreay at Double or Nothing on one side, as well as Swerve versus Bandito at Double or Nothing. And then Mark Davis versus Jungle Jack Perry in a rematch, and Claudio versus Brody King. I don't know. I found last year's so compelling because you could really go either way with Hangman and Ospreay. And I think you kind of looked at the brackets and assumed that was the final, but you really couldn't tell who was going to win that thing. Whereas this
one is so clear.
It's like, well, I guess we're getting Ospreay and Swerve. Yeah. Whereas this one, it's like, well, I guess Ospreay needs to rematch Mark Davis to avenge that loss. So Davis will beat Jack Perry. Ospreay will beat Samoa Joe, will then beat Mark Davis. Swerve will beat Bandito. Brody will beat Claudio. Swerve will beat Brody. Yeah. And then Ospreay, in a rematch from Forbidden Door a couple of years ago, will beat Swerve. Like, there's... Some of these matches are going to be great, but there's no drama in this to me. And I don't like that how... conveniently, two feuds we'd already set up happen to be tournament matches, because it kind of means, oh, well, okay, this isn't a random tournament. I don't understand why Jack Perry's in there. I don't understand why Claudio's in there. This should be just... And yeah, people... Like, AEW are kind of brave sometimes with handing big stars losses. I think this should be more main event filled. With this, it is. I know we all know Ospreay's winning anyway, but I think if you had Kenny in there, there'd be that seed of doubt. Kenny's omission, however, is that a deliberate thing? Because are we gonna get a Kenny title shot again before All In? Maybe.
Redemption.
Yeah.
I am let down by this bracket. Obviously, the end game, I think, of 2026 for All In Wembley is Ospreay challenging the champion. If it's MJF, if it's Kenny, whoever it is, Ospreay winning the world title in London is the end game here for this whole story. So no matter what they booked, we would have definitely been like, Ospreay's winning this. It just it's clear as day. I agree. Like, I'm a little let down of like, well, clearly you see where this is going to go. We're like, you just explained the path of this. And there's literally only 4 brackets. There's only 4 things. So it feels smaller. It feels a little less important, not knocking people like Brody, Mark, Jack, and Claudio. But like you said, like, unfortunately, we know none of those guys are going to be the main event of Wembley All In. So a more interesting story here would have had, because of the stuff with Ospreay and the Death Riders, like what if you had Moxley in this thing?
Yeah.
What if you put some of why is Claudio in there? It should be Moxley.
Yeah, Ospreay having to beat Moxley in the final to go to All In. That makes a whole lot of sense. It completes that story. I find as well, like, I know the Continental Classic is at that time of year, you know, it's around November time normally, where it's always been that kind of dry period in wrestling. Like, things dip in November. So Continental Classic, it's like guaranteeing you great matches every week, but it's a way more grueling tournament for essentially the European Championship, you know? And whereas this, it's an 8-man 3-round tournament for the biggest prize in wrestling on the biggest stage of them all.
Backwards.
It doesn't, at least you've got so much time before All In as well. Make it a 16-man bracket. You know, like, make it feel a little meatier than this. It's like, I glanced at this and in like 2 seconds, I knew the results of every single match. And maybe I'll be wrong. The only thing I'd say, maybe Claudio goes over Brody, but no, because Swerve v Brody, you then rematch that. Like, it's night and day. Well, like, so clear what's going to happen in this.
I was let down with that. Like, I think some of these matches, Swerve and Bandito next week in Queens will be potentially the match of the night. Like, that sounds really good. I'm intrigued by Samoa Joe and Ospreay because
never happened.
That's never happened before. Obviously, Samoa Joe a lot older, a little slower, but it's still a dream match. And Will has said, like, this is a dream match for him personally to fight Samoa Joe. He grew up watching him. So that is kind of a sleeper hit on this pay-per-view. Like,
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, if you were to tell me, hey, Ospreay and Joe are fighting, like, that's kind of fucking cool. So I am interested in that match. Don't get me wrong. It's just,
But I also feel like it doesn't need to be a tournament match because you've already got the story. It was the same with Swerve and Bandito. You've already set it up, so it just feels a little odd.
It feels a little lazy. I guess we do have to let it play out. There is so much time. So the bracket says the finals will be at Forbidden Door, which I think is going to be Ospreay and Swerve, a rematch from a Forbidden Door match a few years ago, right? But we see Will win.
Swerve won. So
Swerve won. So Will get the win back here. But Ospreay wins this. That's June 28th, meaning we know Ospreay is going to be in the main event. So we have a few months there of like hype up. So we don't know what the redemption thing will bring. Will there be some sort of, last chance match, a rematch, MJF, or I don't know what it will.
I wonder if we'll have like, I actually feel now, and kind of leads me to also kind of think MJF might not win this title back, that Kenny's going into Wembley as champion, because I would think he'd be in this tournament otherwise.
Right.
And
weird he's not in the tournament.
It feels so weird that he's not. And especially that moment with, I was sure the final of the Owen would be Ospreay and Kenny when they had that sit down after their losses at Dynasty. And Ospreay kind of saying, like, no, you're still the man. I believe in you. All that sort of stuff. His omission here is really weird. And therefore, I kind of think maybe he's going in as champion. Or maybe at Redemption for either this Owen Cup or the women's, could you see like the Owen champion putting their title shot on the line?
yeah, there could be something along those lines because of the redemption name, right? Like you imagine there's something there to be the last pay-per-view
like we'd see
stop.
at No Way Out. And
Yeah,
those kind
exactly.
of things, right?
Yeah, yeah, and it does reshuffle the deck going into like the big stadium show. So I don't know.
There's also like trademarked the Royal Redemption, which I wonder if that's a match or I don't know. Yeah, but if it seems like some sort of, I'd imagine some sort of gimmick match, maybe that could be involved with this. I don't know.
Do a King of the Ring like tournament in one night. They gotta all wrestle and the winner. I don't know. All I'm saying is let it play out because they have been on a bit of a roll lately. So even though the brackets were kind of a disappointment, I'm willing to be like, all right, let's let it play out and see where the chips lie. Because overall, the matches, when it comes down to it, the matches that they've announced for next week sound great. So I shouldn't complain.
And then on the women's side, it's a little bit of a mixed bag here. We've got Persephone taking on Hazuki, Willow Nightingale taking on Alex Windsor at Double or Nothing, Mina Shirakawa taking on Athena, and Sky Blue taking on Sari.
What? Like NXT
Sailor Moon?
Sailor Moon?
Yeah.
What? I okay. Interesting.
Who, like, I've been hearing is like one of the top wrestlers in the world today. Like,
I mean, she's incredible. Yeah,
all the stuff she's been doing.
Interesting.
So, well, this is maybe a little more difficult to predict. I have my thoughts. Well, where do you see this going?
I think if you're not doing, okay, so like Ronda Rousey came in, did the bit with Toni Storm, and then we learned Toni Storm is gone, whether it's injury. We're not sure at this moment right now, but she is what it seems like will not be taking part in All In. So she's off the board. Right now, the next big star is Mercedes, and I wonder if there is the chance Ronda isn't busy making babies or fighting for Netflix, that maybe she does do one match for AEW. And if she does, and it's not Toni, it probably would be Mercedes.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the next best thing. And think of the history with the 4 horsewomen not including Mercedes in WWE. So that kind of also fills that story and that gap. It would make sense. Seeing these brackets and Mercedes not being on TV and not being mentioned in this makes me lead to believe that Willow will be the one to face Tekla at All In. That's what I would personally book. Willow is one of the more over and more popular homegrown stars. It just also suffers from that thing I don't like of champions who are now fighting for other titles, but there's so much time before that she could easily drop the TBS title before then and go for the women's title.
Yeah, we did have Mercedes as TBS champion last year, challenging Tony to the women's championship.
Yeah, that is true.
I see Willow winning this. I'm seeing, and I think looking at kind of the star power, I think a lot of predicting Willow and Athena as the final, even though we rarely see Athena on AEW TV. But with it being Forbidden Door, I wonder if it's Sari. You know, like if she really impresses, I mean, okay, first round's against Sky Blue, but yeah, if like the Athena match is a banger, like it would fit that Forbidden Door theme to do Sari versus Willow in the final. I wonder if, or you could have Tekla drop the title to Mercedes, maybe at Forbidden Door or Redemption. I feel Mercedes has just dropped recently her final like indie title, so I do think she's coming back soon. But similar to Kenny, it was a bit of a surprise not to see her in this thing because we've been saying for months, it's probably Mercedes versus Tekla at All In. Yeah. But you make a good point. Maybe you have a Ronda Mercedes sort of as another women's match on the card. It's a shame when the women have so little like kind of opportunities on this big card that you have 2 titles tied up in one match. We did have that at All In last year, but maybe you up the stakes and do it. If it is Willow versus Mercedes at Wembley, you could do a winner takes all because both are very associated with the TBS title. True. And Mercedes' story is she's won all the titles there are to win except for the big one. So you could do do that, and that could feel like a big deal in the sort of final blow off between Willow and Mercedes, which they've told
Completely
right before Mercedes was even in AEW.
Yeah, 100% agree. Like with all of that, either way, it should be Willow winning this tournament and going forward. So, like both brackets kind of are like they're smaller than I think we thought they were going to be, and you kind of do see where it's going. But yeah, I think it'll end up at least giving us some good wrestling and leading to a proper all-in card with some of these matches. But yeah, I like Dynamite. There was some good wrestling. You had the new and improved Will Ospreay doing a flying armbar, flying cross armbar that he won with.
Yeah.
That match with Ace Austin was fun. That guy is a great hand.
With the instant tap out, the Ronda Gina. Yeah.
Yeah, he knew that armbar was right in there. He was tapping out. Maybe Gina Ronda watched Dynamite and they got that idea. I thought Ace Austin, every time he wrestles, he's always in this. He makes people look good, and he's good enough that like he stands out. And I thought Ospreay giving him his handshake after was true.
We've seen this conversation come up quite a lot all the way back since Kenny Omega versus Alan Angels in one of the first Dynamite matches. Ace Austin has been like, I remember reporting TNA for Post Wrestling during the pandemic, and Ace Austin was one of the bright spots of that show. Like I thought he was fantastic and really someone to watch out for. And he's been getting some shine the last couple of weeks with the Okada match and with this match. And I, in a little vacuum, I really enjoyed this match. I think storyline wise, Ospreay should have killed him, should have, shown, he showed little bits of different style. Obviously the submission finisher was different, but I think he could have come across more Death Rider-y, if you know what I mean. Do like the hammer and anvil strikes, the elbows to the neck, and just kind of like Ronda did to Gina yesterday, just maul him and tap him out and be like, wow, this is a different Ospreay. Like do no leaving of the feet at all. Just show a very different style to really drive home that, okay, he's adapting his style. He's more of a Death Rider. They did it slightly, but they also were like, and that's why AEW is great as well. We also just want to give you a really good match. And Ace Austin lived up to his part. I thought he was awesome in this. Just I do understand the criticism towards this one as well.
I completely agree. Like if you booked someone else and he just steamrolled them with this.
Had him against Westbrook.
Right. I don't know who is that.
He was the guy who fought Speedball and just ate shit. And
yeah. The Jushin Liger spot
coming to a botch mania near you very soon.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I think Ospreay wasn't different enough. Like he was still doing standing, twisting sky presses and shit. I'm like, all right, well, I don't think Moxley taught you that, but I loved the video of the Death Riders on a rooftop somewhere. There was like mountains in the background or hills in the background, and like it reminded me of the volleyball scene in Top Gun where they're just everyone's shirtless and working out. Manly men. You see Will doing the neck bridge, and he's like, how long has he been there doing that? And then Moxley and him have this great conversation, and again, Moxley is just like, oh, man, I just want to smoke a blunt with John Moxley so bad. Dream blunt rotation right there is Will Ospreay and John Moxley on this rooftop. No one wearing shirts.
I feel hilarious. You'd feel very uncomfortable having a joint with John Moxley very quickly. I think you'd soon realize I have nothing in common with this guy.
I love them on the rooftop, and then he's like talking to Will, and then like they stop talking, and I think he was like, hey, remember this is really cool. He was like, remember the Super Juniors 2019? And Will is like, yeah, I do. And then Mox bringing up like wrestling lore that has nothing to do with AEW, but think that was when Will he was already
the Shingo match.
Yeah, the Shingo and that whole like run with the Super Juniors. And since then, Ospreay has been like a household name in the world of wrestling. And it was interesting that Moxley was bringing this up, and it was a great back and forth. That again, I was like, why this better be leading to the match? Like Ospreay, this could be the main event of All In at this point. It should be with Moxley and Ospreay with this weird, like now they're friends, kind of father figuring him, big brothering him a little bit, and then all of that with Moxley to do another Moxley thing where he just goes, "Damn it, Wheeler! If you're gonna stomp on someone's head, you got to do it properly." And then he runs off, and the segment ends. And I was just like, "Oh my god, fucking great cinema!"
I would say, I think after Ospreay wins the Owen, do the plastic bag thing or something like that, and have Mox turn on him.
Redemption is the match.
Wind up Ospreay so much that Ospreay puts his all-in shot on the line.
Right.
At Redemption.
Yeah.
Ospreay beats him, and then Moxley shakes his hand, and it's like, because that's what isn't that when Regal left? Because he was like, I turned heel on you because I was teaching you a lesson.
Right.
Like, and that was like the final lesson from Mox is now I'm gonna stab you in the back, but the handshake is like, you're complete, my Padawan. You know, like
exactly
that sort of thing. And then you've tied up that story. You then can move Moxley into pure babyface going forward, and Ospreay heading towards Wembley.
What's Moxley's Wembley match?
Ooh,
if it's not Will, at this point, I'm watching them on this rooftop. I'm like, this is the match, isn't it? But then when I saw Will hanging out without a shirt with Kenny, I'm like, well, that's the match. So, like, what is the match?
I don't know. I'm Moxley. Have we done Mox Swerve as a major program?
That's not a bad idea.
That would be good.
I don't know how we get there, but it sounds good.
I mean, Swerve's whole thing at the moment is kind of taking exception to people calling themselves like the most dangerous man, the most wanted, that kind of thing. So it can just be Swerve being like, "Oh, you think you're king of the death match or whatever it is," you know?
Yeah.
I wonder where Hangman fits in as well.
True.
Maybe you do. MIA. Maybe if Kenny isn't in the main event, you do Kenny Hangman.
Oh, okay. Don't know how.
You know, well, you had this. You had the story with Swerve, Kenny, and Hangman before. Right. Kenny and Swerve is another one you could do again because they're one
Swerve,
apiece.
You could do Swerve. I was thinking Swerve Jericho as well. Like Jericho's going to be involved, I'm sure somehow. Not sure, but I have been liking the Ospreay mock stuff.
I want to see more of just now I've seen Death Riders on a roof. Now now I've seen Mox, like poking Pac's tummy and
that was the best shit I've ever seen.
going to the Intuit Dome for fights and stuff.
Yeah.
I want to see like little like BTE, but the Death Riders. Just I want to know what they get up to. These guys, like
the Real Housewives of Death Riders. I want to see. I want to see like the reality show, like Jersey Shore, but it's Death Riders, Cincinnati Shore, where it's just these guys hanging out, just shooting the shit, wrestling, playing ball, hanging out with no shirts on the roof. That's what we all strive to be in life. I don't know where we go with that, but I've been enjoying it, and that's all I know. I like it. So,
Jake in the chat has sent a super chat of $2. Thank you very much, Jake from the Windy City, who says, regarding Wembley, how are ticket prices in quid? Quid being pounds, for those who don't know. Looking now on Ticketmaster, the lowest price is around $31.70. Nice. So very affordable. And the top seat is like, right in the front here is around £1,500.
So 30 pounds is like $100 Canadian.
30 pounds is about 40 US and it's about 55 Canadian.
Right. Nice. Not too bad there. Brian Cage returns.
Oh, yeah.
Looking absolutely yoked. All natural, obviously. Right?
Oh, yeah. Protein.
He looked crazy. He looked insanely huge and cut. And maybe he went to Turkey. His hair looked really nice. He always used to shave his head.
It's his thick beard as well.
Yeah, it's nice. Good for him.
Looks like a jacked Steve Blackman. Yeah.
Yeah. We mentioned Tekla. What's her match next weekend? It's the 4-way match. That should be fun.
Yeah.
Like with her, the women's division right now, I do think is a little like all over the place. Maybe they're not quite sure what they're doing, but I have been enjoying Tekla, and I do think a 4-way right now is the best choice. For that.
Yeah, it's like a placeholder match, isn't it? It's the problem with the women's division, especially losing Toni Storm. You've got a great mid card in the women's division. Yeah. You really don't have a strong upper card.
Yeah. So right now, Double or Nothing, Takeshita Okada, obviously one of the bigger matches we've been looking forward to for such a long time. But we mentioned some of the ones added: the Darby MJF official, Bandito Swerve, Joe Ospreay, and then the Stadium Stampede. This is weird. It's Kenny Omega. It can't be fucked to be booked in the Owen Hart Classic, but Jack Perry needs him to face the Demand in a Stadium Stampede. So
I would say though, I think Kenny's trying to save himself for the big matches. Right.
Like, and I'm okay with that. Yeah.
He's pretty banged up, and he doesn't have to do a whole lot in
he deserves it.
14-man Stadium Stampede.
We say that, and then dude's gonna do some stupid shit, and we're like, "What the? You're supposed to be rehabbing right now," and instead he's gonna hit a one-winged angel off a staircase or something that we'll see and be like, "Whoa, well, that was fucking crazy." I think this is the weirdest booked Stadium Stampede. But they've sold it. They've twisted it to be like Ricochet is like, well, it's a match you created, so I'm going to beat you in it. And like, at least it kind of ties into that because Jericho has been a part of majority of these matches. So in a weird, sick way, I think I'm telling myself like, this is whatever. But when we're there and this starts, I'm probably going to be pretty excited for this. So will it be Judas playing? Will it be Tarzan Boy? Will it be, who knows what the song is going to be? But
I mean, that's more of a Anarchy in the Arena trope,
oh, true.
But I wonder if they'll do it for the. I mean, they're calling it Stadium Stampede because we're in a stadium. It's the same match, you know. But yeah, I could if they are doing the song, I'd see it being Judas.
Right, because he's back and everything. But I'm looking forward to this card. It looks good. It's a good mix of like some serious wrestling, that Stadium Stampede. Now the Owen Hart matches, the MJF stuff. I'm looking forward to this show. I think we're gonna have some breakout matches like that. What is it? Swerve and Bandito should be a show stealer. I mean, Takeshita Okada has all the eyes on it. Like that's the one I'm hyped for. Nothing this year could get me more hyped in a match than this match. So really looking forward to this show and this match and everything. We will go live this upcoming Thursday, 1 p.m. right here on the Poisonrana YouTube. The audio will be out later on this very free feed. Please hit that download, hit that follow, subscribe, leave a comment, a nice 5-star review. All the little things go a long way. We will go live Thursday at 1 p.m. here. We'll give a whole preview. We'll talk about this Wednesday's Dynamite and gear up for Double or Nothing next Sunday. Next Thursday, in Toronto, if you're listening in the Toronto area, you can catch us, or I know you're going to try to get off work early, but I am going to make it to Demand Lucha, who are putting on a show in Parkdale Hall. So support your indie wrestling no matter where you are, but Demand Lucha in Toronto, absolutely knock it out the park every time. It is always a lucha party. So I'm looking forward to finally getting to a show. I've been missing a bunch of the last few ones just because of work and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to go seeing some lucha this Thursday. Anything else in the world of wrestling before we go? I know we've gone long and it's sunny out. We got to get out of here.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
You said quickly before we sign off, you said that the Super Juniors had started, and I forgot that Jun Kasai is in the Super Juniors. So I had some intrigue of like, what would that look like? It's exactly how you think it would look like. You have Jun Kasai in there. And who was this matchup against? I'm blanking.
Wait, was this last night's match?
Yeah.
Kosei Fujita.
So
I watched that one this morning as well. Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious. So deathmatch wrestler in a light junior heavyweight tournament. And Red Shoes is the ref. And Red Shoes, who's my favorite referee. I don't care what any of the haters say. My favorite ref all time is Red Shoes. And Red Shoes just turns a blind eye and can't see anything. I feel like I'm in a death match right now, whatever's going on outside. this guy looks away, and Jun Kasai is they're doing chair fights. He puts a guy through a table at one point with his splash, and he shanks him. He pulls out a fork and a knife, and Red Shoes just like la-di-da and doesn't see him, and fucking stabbing this guy like it's New Jack in prison or something. I was howling watching this.
It was Red Shoes tried to take control at the beginning and then was like, oh, fuck it, whatever. No, this stiff chair shot to the dome to start the match off. Like it was pretty fun.
Protect Jun Kasai at all costs. I want him at Forbidden Door. Fuck it. Tony Khan, stop being a coward and book Jun Kasai versus John Moxley on an AEW show. Book it, please. Forbidden Door, please. I think I might watch some more of this Super Juniors. I also watched the Nick Wayne match, and I thought that was pretty entertaining as well. So you know what? I think Jun Kasai was enough to get me back into the Super Junior.
You know what I liked with that? The crowd was so engaged and so loud and into it. I'm gonna try and share. I tried to last night and was just too tired to watch anymore. But yeah, I'm going to try and keep up with a little bit of this, take John Pollock's recommendations, etc. To what to watch for this.
Absolutely. Well, we'll talk some more wrestling. We'll talk Tuesday night after NXT on Post Wrestling, and we'll talk with you Thursday, 1 p.m. right here with a Double or Nothing preview. Appreciate all the listeners out there. Follow us, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff at Poisonrana Pod, poisonrana.ca, and patreon.com/poisonrana. Go check out our best match ever Tana, best match ever Hogan, and so much more. Thank you, friends and Poison Pals. That is it. That is all. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. Peace out.
Ahoy!